welcome to Gorilla Radio, episode 221, 39 away from the Big 260 show.
I know. I'm starting to line up the guest list.
Tim Carter already has said that he's getting us the VIP room at the Butler McDonald's.
Woo! Let's go.
So, I mean, he's already booking it. He's already kind of planning it out. So we got to have some extra episodes. But he's already talked to the manager. He said they might even have the ice cream machine ready.
Ooh, man, that's a real treat.
Yeah. So they need about 12 months ahead, warning. So they should have it ready by then. So
4:30 start time. That's my nap time, man. I'm sorry, Eric. It takes me a little bit to prep for the show.
Yeah, we got to talk about you for a half hour before we get on the show. So you should have heard the things Mike was saying about you. Pre-show, $9.99 in a minute.
Eric, yeah, man, we got a little bit of the. I feel like there was a little pre-show on the Deepwater podcast, a little bit more loose talking, like less of our brand, right? I didn't have to get all into it, but Eric was on Saturday with me for a little bit. He did a great job calling some matches. Got Teague on after a big win, 2 big wins.
Are you going to see now? You're gonna have to get ready. Getting him prepped for our live in person after Friday night show at the hangar once again.
Nice.
So 7:30 to like 9:30, whatever it was, something like that last year. Great atmosphere. I might even buy some food for people if they show up.
The food was good last year.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. Man, I seen Dan tell me he was going to make a post about that. I advised him to do whatever he felt like he needed to do, but those get pulled down pretty quick. So if you have any comments or questions from the officials, send it to DUIs.
Yes.
on DMAT.com in the DMs. But yeah, so yeah, we'll be at the hangar. I told those guys to show up. I don't know if we did. I didn't feel like it was short notice last year, but some people are like, "Oh man, you guys should do a live show at State." I was like, "We did."
Yeah,
we did a live show at State last year.
We had a lot of people were watching. I know that. I mean, I'm sure a lot of the kids or coaches were like, "Hey, we're at the hotel. Might as well tune into these knuckleheads talking about wrestling."
Yeah,
so.
We had a lot of people live there last year, which was really cool. Good setup. So that'll be fun. I really enjoyed that, and then. Like, obviously, it's going to be sad for some people and happy for others. So we prefer a happy crowd.
Yes.
We feed off the energy.
It is a family-friendly establishment, so you can bring your kids. And so it was a lot of fun last year. And obviously 2 years ago when we did it in Evansville the night before, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But this one, obviously there were a lot more people at this one, and it was pretty cool. So I'm excited. It's a pretty neat thing to be able to do and hang out with people and, in a little more relaxed atmosphere and, have a good time. So I'm looking forward to it. So
they do sell adult beverages there. We'll set up an Indiana Mat drinking game. So like if there's things that we say or things that we do normally, like I'm sure there's things that we do overall that people are like, oh man, like he does that all the time. That'll be a shot or something, which will be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, we need a bingo card. Hang out, Indiana Mat bingo cards.
I know we had talked. I talked about that a little bit Saturday, and I'm not an official, so I'm not really sure. Like, if you have a tech and they're on their back, do you allow them to get the fall, or do you stop it once the points are scored? She did tell me that I can't be letting Eric on after there's a limit, so we have a card. I think. You know what? There's like a limit that Eric has that he can't be on the show at, so we're gonna try to keep him in that range.
Yes, we'll get him on early.
So there you go, Nick. Nick's my rules interpreter.
Break out of 45. Okay, so that's why they are faster. There's more stringent on the 45-degree angle.
Okay, yeah, so I didn't know. And like obviously, I know like some people had asked me and. Dan wasn't the only one. And literally I said, oh, yeah, that's weird, man. I really don't know.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's a interesting rule change. I guess, you're kind of supposed to, but at the same time, if it's in that. I don't know. I guess they're using protractors more.
Man,
So
and I wonder if like I guess more importantly, because like the region I was at, it wasn't like the points were pretty significantly wide, you know.
yeah,
Then I think I got my secondary rules confirmed. My other rules interpreter. So
good, good.
yeah, let's go.
Uh-oh.
So
The
yeah,
poppy. Hey, if you guys didn't see, we did mic up some coaches this past week on Saturday. Very entertaining. Had to cut some things out. I will
oh
say
sure.
the much like our pre-show, the raw video is even better.
Yeah, the pre-show has a lot of strong opinions and a lot more swear words and some rumors and things like that. So
Yeah,
okay, 99 cents.
999 a minute. I'm sure most of you guys in this chat have called those numbers with 999 a minute. So,
Yep.
so
So,
uh,
uh, so this is the East Chicago show. We're doing 4 shows this week.
yep,
So pretty exciting. This is always like last week I did 4 broadcasts. So I did the Monday night show. I did Wednesday. I was on Vargo's Deepwater podcast on Thursday. I thought it went pretty well. I mean, those guys got what Joe has to deal with all the time. You know, just an ADD on high efficiency and talked probably longer than I needed to. And then Saturday I was on the call with Heartland Sports Network for Region Sports or not Region Sports, for Heartland Sports Network, and I thought that went really well too. So
yeah. I listened in. It was good stuff. After as I got home from our regional, like, oh crap, yeah, some good matches coming up. Unfortunately, there's a couple of the matches. They raised a couple of hands in the finals, which I was
yeah,
kind of disappointed with, and obviously, hopefully, the injuries get healed up. And the same, I mean, I understand a little bit of why it's still, as a fan, you want to see it, but
I think they only did there was only one forfeit in the final this week, right? That was only the Brooks and
yeah, maybe it was
Hazlett.
like there were a couple quick pins that I wasn't expecting, and I was trying to start brackets and stuff like that, and like, oh, that match is over.
That is true. Tony's responding to Vargo there. Reese also got me to cuss yesterday.
Uh-oh.
Reese got an earful on his ride back from Indy. So
Uh-oh.
they yeah, I mean, I know they're dealing with some injuries and it's about getting healthy now. And I think it's tough, like, because those guys, we kind of talked about it in one of the broadcasts I did on the Hanover Central and Lowell. And I really do feel like as a competitor, I looked forward to the match. Like on a weekday and a dual night, I was looking forward to wrestle. And I know that the guys that are number one obviously have they enjoy wrestling, Verduzco that night and Stanley and Hazlett. And all 3 of them got their hands raised that night. And dude, I think it's just kind of a letdown, right? You're expecting to wrestle, you're expecting to be out there, and then nothing. And dude, like I think it was like a cold night. It was snowy, and I know I seen the whole Stanley family out there, and the Hazlett family. I don't really know the Verduzco family, the older Verduzcos like that, but like, dude, it's a lot to get there, and it's not like they're getting it for free.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they enjoy the team, but you're not paying, whatever it is, $10 a ticket for, his 2 sisters, her sister's boyfriend, his dad, his mom, and then to watch him get his hand raised. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot of, and yeah, a good match, big match. So that's
I think, I mean, I know this would be like a preview for the Newcastle show. I guess, like, what day are we doing the show? So today's East Chicago.
today. I mean, double check I put it on the website, on the semi-state information center, all the information you need to have, brackets, bracket links, pick'ems links, just got those up during baseball practice today. I love baseball practice because I get like an hour and a half just to do what sit there, and I'm not bothered by people. Tomorrow is the Newcastle semi-state. Word is we will have one of Indianapolis's finest on the show. So, one of the top 5 best looking Indiana mat rankers.
Yeah, I think so.
So
They man, I guess so. Look, a little bit of a preview for tomorrow, and I actually circled that match, MJ Morton. I think that's going to be a good match. And now, am I picking that in my pick'ems? I don't know, but I think Gavin, if everything goes according to the rankings, I do think. Yep, someone from the Red Garter. That's what I heard. Security. Someone. I think Gavin Kemp and Tyler Ryan. That's a really exciting match for a ticket. Honestly,
Yeah.
like I think that those guys are like guys that get after it. Watch it be a 1-0 match. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Kemp puts up points. He's not afraid to go big move. Thry's not afraid to mix it up. I really do think that's going to be a good match. So like that's a little bit of preview for tomorrow. My daughter just got her bat certified, and they told her she couldn't use it, so got to
Oh,
buy a new
geez.
bat. So there's $400. So
Oh,
try to
nice.
go fund me. So Tuesday we're gonna have Newcastle. Wednesday we're doing the Wayne.
Yes. And then Thursday
The,
with
the
Triple
newly
B.
out of the cellar in the semi-state point Fort Wayne. Congratulations.
Yes. Yes. The the vaunted maligned is I think he's in the witness protection program. Uh, he needs to be this week because it's the actually this must be the first year that he's done the semi-state ratings, but the sectional and regional ratings, and there's one sectional that has some fiery people called the J County sectional and regional, and they don't like being called a 3,
Yeah,
and then Maligned replies back with stuff that like you, how can you disagree because you don't understand what he's saying?
yeah.
So
That's how I do it actually.
yeah, yes, baffling
Uh,
the bullshit. So
she swings the OG original, not the like remake of the Easton Blue Ghost that was illegal. So they're like incredibly hard to find. If you find one now, well, now I wouldn't buy one because um, they're illegal in college. But you're talking, up to $1,000 for a resale. Yeah.
right.
So
So how do they certify them? Like, what do they
you have
do?
to have someone come in, and then they have different bats. Yeah, they had to get them all certified. She still had her stickers on it from the state finals. So before the state finals, they had to give it a sticker. So
Oh, nice,
they knew
man,
Easton is hot. So that's probably
man.
what we're gonna grab.
Yeah, just trying to sneak those. Can Rocco use it for his?
Man, it was a hot bat. Like they had abandoned a bunch of the affiliations. I mean, not to go like softball crazy. Yeah,
No,
'cause,
they did that in was it Perfect Game? One of like what Perfect Game, which those U Triple SA. I know Perfect Game banned one of the bats. I can't remember which one. And then someone that they were close to made one that was basically the same bat, but that was a big thing last year. We don't
so
play a Perfect Game. We're too young for that kind of stuff. But yeah,
get that old black magic that Z core that Z line Easton Z line. Those were the days where guys were getting killed at third base. Take your life in your own hands.
yeah. So
Uh,
so we're talking the let's see if I can the East Chicago semi-state.
and probably by weight, let's kind of talk about some of the stuff like big matches that probably happen through there, right? We don't have to like
Yeah.
break down every regional, but a lot of good matches. Like I mean, not a ton of upsets. I had the least amount of ranked wrestlers out, so I was excited for that.
Yeah. Darn it, that doesn't look good.
What did we lose 13, and that's with the two guys. A couple guys missed weight this past weekend too. So some of the guys that were scale taking home bodies, boy.
I mean,
So
you got to make weight. I know. There's some. Saw some guys that were out, a couple of injuries, and
yeah,
I know a couple of them were injuries. We heard that there might be some other things going on. We will not
yeah.
verify that because we are not the TMZ, but and it really doesn't matter if you're out of the bracket, you're out of the bracket, no matter what the reasons. So, I will release these probably tonight. The nice graphics of our brackets. So, 106. I'd say overall, I don't think some of the death draws really didn't happen here. I think in overall in the East Chicago semi-state, there's a couple tough ones, but there are also ones that like the heavyweight one we knew was a 66% chance of a pretty ugly match.
I think, and we kind of talked about it a little bit, and like whether people are upset with what Adrian rated the East Chicago semi-state or not, like the Hobart Regional had one returning state medalist.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was kind of talking with Paul Maldonado about that, and it was like, and I don't want to say those teams are down. And I guess that'll be my. You want to talk about my rant, and like I'll give some foreshadowing for the indie area if they really want to hear it at the end about what I really do believe, and it's not like anyone's fault, but if you're probably third strongest regional, because I think I don't know how many medalists did the Penn regional really have coming back.
Yeah,
Vinny and who else?
Vinny and Horn, Guard,
Yep. So not a lot, right? It
Beck.
wasn't like you're running out 7 or 8, returning medalists. So Hobart only having one returning medalist, and Logansport right now. We're still trying to get a Contenders out there. So
Yep, our sponsor.
yep.
Our brackets, our sponsors here. So
Like I think people think I say that as a joke. I'm dead serious. I think there's money to be made there.
Yeah. Let me see. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can get the other brackets that we have. See if they're better.
I have brackets in front of me, so
yeah. Well, some people are complaining
that they can't see
brackets. So let me.
You want me to? I could rant on part of my what I feel is happening right now until you get it ready.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I know like everyone's all about the academies right now, and I think they're great. I do think the academies are great, but I think you have to like also put your club stuff around them, because what you're doing now, we're in a 10-year window where like Region and all those guys were there and they're helping people get better, but it's making your high school coaches lazy and not doing your club anymore. You're looking at a lot of these tournaments and you're not seeing like whatever high school club. So like now you're losing those younger kids that are getting to the basics. And if you're taking your young kids to the academy when they're 7 through 10 and they're getting smoked by kids that are a lot better than them, they're quitting. So you're seeing that like fall out of forfeits. Like not as many kids are wrestling in our area. You're losing the kids that were probably in between that were just stick out the sport. So all the areas that are like so high and proud of like their clubs, like let's see what happens in like 10 years when that group of kids that were probably like beginners that are quitting the sport because they used to just go do it in their room and like with their friends are now like going to academies getting quit, and no one likes to get beat up. Like, so I think that's like the big problem for our area. And like I know some people are trying to circle that back, and you can say I'm wrong, but like okay, show me a study where it's not. Like we're like kind of the test. We were one of the first areas that had it, right? And Indy was the other one, right? Because you had CIA and all those teams. Yeah. So you had a lot of the old clubs that used to be clubs like your whatever Warrior Wrestling Club, whatever Team Lion Wrestling Club. I don't know. Like I don't want to put anyone on blast. That the coaches said, okay, cool. If you're just going to go to the academy, I'm taking my summers off. So like now you don't have those guys putting in with the younger group and getting better. And those kids are just going to the academy and they might sink or swim. And if you have a lot more kids sinking than swimming, then your area is going to be down.
Yeah. So, I agree. I mean, the talent, especially at the youth level, the talent difference in kids because a lot of kids are specializing what I believe is way too early. That's just a personal opinion. Yeah. You can take that for whatever it's worth, but you see a talent level, just talent difference in kids that are putting more time into it. I mean, obviously they are working hard. They're not just, and then those other kids that are kind of just trying to figure it out. Do I like this sport? Do I not? And then by the time you get up to high school, those kids that kind of were trying to figure it out were like, I didn't have a good experience. I went to the tournament, got teched in, 3 matches. And, those are the kids though, that come on late that start wrestling in middle school. Like, hey, they're the ones that fill your lineups. Those are those regional and semi-state level kids that fill those dual team lineups that you can't be without really. Let's be honest.
And you're talking about 2 semi-states that had a lot of high level success that like were academy based, like the guys that were coming from CIA at the very beginning of that, the guys that were coming from region. And hey, like, I'm not saying that's not the way either. I do think that your top end talented kids and they're like probably your mid-level talented kids should be going to those academies and getting good matches and brawling and getting better. But like if that's the only outlet in your community for your bottom beginner kids, like some of those areas just like that's too saturated. They can't like put eyes on every single kid in that room, right?
Yeah.
And it's tough. So I think that's kind of what's happening to some of the areas in Northwest Indiana, and it sucks because it does take our rating down. And I'm not disagreeing with it. I think I was in a meeting and I was like quick texting in our group chat, and it came off like I was being like upset. But I get it. I look at the same sectional brackets and see guys forfeiting to the finals. Like,
Yeah.
like you're not okay. Cool. Why do we have these huge sectionals if we're just going to have 4 guys in every weight class?
Yeah.
Like and I think it's a trickle down from coaches, and like coaches are, I'm sure I'm going to catch some strays from some coaches. Like, I'm not lazy. Okay, cool. If you feel like I'm talking about you, then I am. Like, if you're offended by it, then it's you. If you're just taking those days off to if you're just taking those days off and you're like not going to the summer meets anymore because you know you're going to send your kids to get subbed out, one, those kids are going to quit. Two, the good kids are going to go other places, and you can see it on all these really good teams. Is the kids that train together that were like your club kids are now, oh, like I'd rather just train with my buddy now because my buddy's going to Ironman because it's better opportunities. Even though Ironman will take really good kids that aren't in those programs,
Yeah.
you know. So I think that I know there's going to be some hurt feelings for that. I know I have some outside the box thinking things. And I'll get to another thing at the end of this that I stand by 1,000%. And I seen someone was trashing me on Instagram last year about there's coaches that don't want wrestlebacks. And if you tell me that I'm lying, I'll give you numbers. I'll tell you people's names. They literally come up with like, you're 100% right because we've been screwed before by a bad draw. So we should be the benefit of a good draw.
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool. You don't really care about the best kids there. You only care about like trying to sneak a kid through because you're probably doing it like half the time of the year. You're not putting the work in that the kids that, obviously we're going to do the Evansville show on Thursday, but Nate Rio and Schaefer should both be at the state finals. It's ridiculous that one of those guys are not going to be there.
Yeah.
Maybe something happens, a kid gets hurt, heaven forbid. But that's ridiculous that we're participating in a state that determines our state champion by an individual based thing. And you have 2 of the top 5 kids in the state, probably Division I level kids. I know one's at least a Division I level kid.
Yeah.
That are gonna like not be able to participate because we don't have an extra hour of our life on Valentine's Day. Happy you don't got girls anyways.
Like, half y'all ugly. No.
Yeah. Girls anyway. Stop.
Well, I mean, that came up on the board, and one of the coaches did say that, I like our system. And I think it is, I want to see the best kids there. I'm playing a little bit of, if you don't notice, I'm probably playing a little bit of the devil's advocate, but I'm also kind of leaning into people wanting excitement and stuff. And, it's interesting that you want fairness in certain areas, but you don't want to, you draw the line in certain areas of fairness, or excitement. You can't tell me that. I mean, and I won't play devil's advocate, but you can't tell me the ticket round isn't like just absolutely electric. And I mean, you can just feel it in the arena. It's just like the nerves, your season comes out. It's win or go home, and it is nuts. It is as a coach, it is the most nerve wracking. I mean, I'd like to see life expectancy after that round.
I think, as a fan, I love the ticket round because there's so much unpredictability. But we're literally working, October through February for like you have to like make, and it's not gonna happen to everybody, but there's gonna be someone that gets caught. Dude, Logan Miller, right?
Yeah,
like worked his entire life, was a champ, and gets headlocked in the ticket round match. So whatever he did that year doesn't matter. He doesn't get an opportunity to wrestle back. I just think we can be better, and I don't know how we present it. I'm obviously not on that board, and better people than I am are on the Coaches Association pitching it to the commissioners. But like every year you see something like that where you're not getting the best 16 there, and like that's always the thing. Well, the best kids are wrestle. Well, that's not true.
Yeah.
If it's true, cool. Let me take the 32 that make it, and we'll let Schaefer wrestle the guys that are the 4s first. Yeah. And I bet he works his way up pretty high.
Yeah.
or Rio. I'm not saying either one, but like
Yeah,
Schaefer's obviously the lower ranked guy in that situation, but it's been close. I don't like it. I think it's ridiculous.
no. And on as someone did mention, I mean, your original topic of getting the youth and stuff, and I think that is a something that we are not we're focusing on the top level kids even way too early. I think
Mm.
and it should be you got to get kids interested, got to have and build that program up with those kids that get the relevant level experience, and you can't be taking them to tournaments that are not you
Mm.
can't be. It's not good for a kid to go to a tournament and just get throttled. I mean, I
Yeah.
almost lost my son because he
Well,
did not have a good day at a tournament, and he ended up not doing a tournament for almost 2 years because I was
and
like, I want you to wrestle, so I'm not. Hey, we'll practice, but there's no. I mean, you get more out of practice than you do tournaments, and then it's one of those things that someone said something that the wrestling is becoming like travel baseball. But I'll let you comment, and then I'll tell my little anecdote.
we used to have parents when the girls were coming up, and it's class. It's like anything. Like you have your C class or B class or A class, and they would always be like, "Oh, we need to be playing the hardest stuff." And I'm like, "Dude, they're learning the game. I want them to understand the game, so we don't have to coach them through every situation." They're like, "Oh, that's not how it's done." Like, cool. Let's go to the gym. Let me put 450 on the bar. Let me see you like bench 350. Oh, you can't do that. You're gonna work your way up to it. Oh, no shit. That's how it works. You work your way up by lifting weights. Same concept. Like you get
Yeah,
better by lifting weights. You don't just walk in, but oh, dude, let me throw 315 on. I never lifted weights before. Cool. I'll get someone to pull that off your chest. Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, the one thing I see it with my son in baseball this year. He did travel and he did a rec league in the rec league. And I've told you this, but it's one of those things that the rec league had. He had 3 or 4 travel kids on his team. Some other kids are pretty decent, and then some new kids. And the talent difference in those kids was. I sat there. This is 10U, and I'm sitting there like, this is nuts. A couple kids that I'm sure would be great baseball players once they get some experience and once they develop and get more practice. And I'm like, that kid looks like he's a decent athlete. The kid looks like he just, I don't think he's ever swung a bat before.
yeah,
And now he's going, this kid my kid who had been doing 3-hour practices once a week since last November, you know, I mean, yeah, my kid's gonna be way better. But maybe not in 2 years. This kid might just start figuring out how to swing and throw a ball, and he's gonna be way better. But it's not good for the kids because you need to find your level to learn the sport and get better. And that's the hardest thing to. You have the gung ho parents that are, oh, we gotta go steal the competition. He's got to take all the losses. No, no, no. I mean, you want him to be done with the sport. You don't just throw your kid into the highest level of whatever and like we're gonna go to nationals. Why? Your kid can't even win the local tournament here.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
That that's
it's
that's not good.
frustrating. So let's
And,
talk semi-state.
and
Oh,
like
go ahead.
I want to like say this because obviously Contenders does a great job, and RWA does a great job, and the Fort does a good job, and like all those guys do awesome. Our Coughlin. I'm not gonna go through the whole list, but like there is a place for that, and like if that's the route you're going and your kid succeeds that way, I get it 100%. I'm talking about the lower to mid kid, the kid that can't afford it. Someone said like the socioeconomic part. They sent me a text like 100%. It's
Mhm.
expensive. Like
Yeah.
it's expensive. Like I get it. Like you're not going to be able like you're not taking 10% of your income to go to a club. And maybe they work some stuff out for you, but I'm not saying that's not the way. I'm saying that it has to coexist.
Hmm.
And right now in our area in the region, the 219, which everyone was so proud of Monday, it's not coexisting.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's showing at the overall results at the forfeit level and what we're putting out on the mat that we're so extreme to the high end and we're losing that middle tier of wrestler.
Yes. Exactly.
And it happened
I
to Izzy.
agree.
It
And
happened to
I
Izzy
don't
the same way.
I don't think that's just in the region. I don't think that's just that is pretty widespread. That talent gap in that top level is really separating. It used to be blended together, and now it's not. And that's I mean, and you're seeing it in a lot of things, but definitely, I mean, it is because of those clubs, and those kids are putting in the time. They're putting in a lot more time earlier. I mean, a lot of these kids are probably, I mean, you go ask, some of those guys that were on last week, take a kid that's 12, 13 years old, how much time has that kid put in versus what you have, Andrew Howe, or,
Yeah.
you know, and he'd probably be like, dude, that kid's put in way more time than I ever did until I graduated high school. And so it is,
Yeah.
we need to continue to grow the sport and not just worry about the top level kids. Those are the fun ones to coach.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, and we all want to gravitate towards those, but it's also fun to find a kid that starts as a seventh grader and he punches his ticket to state. That's as exciting as getting that kid that should have been at state there too. It's way more fun.
Wow.
I can tell you some of my favorite kids are the kids that kind of came out of nowhere and just worked with them, found what they're good at, and punch their tickets to state. So,
all right. So sorry, I got that off. Joe got the more visually pleasing, readable bracket on now.
yeah,
Didn't mean to jump it off a tangent really quick, but just filling dead air space. So
yes. So,
start at
106.
the top.
Number 21, Rashad Nelson. Gets Christian Steffi from West Lafayette. Micah Vargas, number 27, and Levi Ledig from Penn. So looks like got a little conference matchup first round, and
Yeah, a
then
little rivalry, right? That's
yeah,
the big rivalry now, right? Penn and New Prairie.
hopefully it's gonna be Valentine's Day. Maybe the coaches will exchange chocolates.
I heard they just dropped some of their middle school duels. So
Oh, geez.
yeah, I mean, Margaret Vargas wrestling really well. 28-10, looked good on Saturday. That'll be a tough one. Anytime you have to wrestle someone in your conference that you've probably seen a couple times. Rashad Nelson, 31-4. Anytime you get a senior at 106, always a good thing for you. Normally,
Yeah.
31-4 on the season. Two of his losses were at the Al Smith. He had a loss early on to Longoria at LaPorte, and then he also lost in a really close match to Javier Salas III in the duel. So Crown Point doesn't have anybody represented in the bracket, but I know he's had a really good senior season. So regional champ, maybe 21 was a little bit low for him on the board, but who were his losses to at Al Smith? He had two. I believe it was McCoy one and maybe Jackson Lavin.
Possibly. But yeah.
Next quarter bracket down. Regional champ Harrison Reed Hayworth, a junior, 24-6. I believe most of his losses were up at 113. I think coming down was a good move for him. He'll have James Malton of Lake Central, 13-7. I know Lake Central's had two guys at 106 this year. And on the bottom part of that quarter, you have Tristan Wood of Warsaw, a freshman, 18-12, and Gavin Longoria of Lowell, 27-10. He was a semi-state qualifier last year at 120 pounds, 16 in the state, number 24 in the state. Of his 10 losses, I know he has a handful to DeLuna, and I know he had a couple at Al Smith, did a really good Al Smith. So Gavin's been wrestling really well. His dad's I talked to him this weekend, he's a really good tattoo artist. Gavin had 0 tattoos. I was actually surprised. So they said they're waiting to get the right one. No. Says his mom says it's okay.
His mom says it's okay.
Both of those quarter brackets with ranked state ranked wrestlers that we like to see. Hopefully those guys punch the ticket because really, man, I want to try to get the highest score I ever got. And overall, look at the brackets. Look like we had a pretty good shake.
Yeah.
Moving down, you have Isaac Garcia of Hammond Bishop Knoll, 18-4. That's a guy I think I missed in the semi-state rankings. He's wrestled really well. I thought he had a pretty good Lake County tournament. Obviously, we were at Team State that day, so I didn't get to see him live. He'll have Aldo Origel, 26-11 freshman from Rensselaer Central. That should be a good one right off the bat. And then the top part of that bracket, you have Keegan Holderman of Bremen, a sophomore, 20-8. Bremen had some really good records too, like a lot of guys that sparkling records. And he'll have a guy. Speaking of guys that had just started wrestling at an older age, number 4 in the state, he would probably be higher now. He might be number 2 now if we redid the rankings after Nathan Scott's loss and Louis Kennison out of the bracket. Julian DeLuna, 36-1. He was a state qualifier last year. Only started wrestling as a freshman. His attacks are really good. He's pretty slick on his feet. I know they said he works incredibly hard. He doesn't know what Indiana Mat is. He doesn't watch the show, so we can say whatever we want about him. Wouldn't even know. So DeLuna, he's been wrestling well. Obviously, he beat Longoria a couple of times this year. I would assume he's the favorite to win the semi-state, just by rankings. On the bottom part of that quarter, of the bottom quarter bracket, you have Prince Baptiste of Lafayette Central Catholic. He's ranked number 10 in the semi-state. He's a freshman. He's 23-10. And they have Brody Conrad of Portage, 24-12 freshman, ranked number 30 in the state, number 8 in the semi-state, so 8-10 right off the bat. Brody's improved over the entire season. I thought coming in, I was wondering if he'd be a little bit undersized for the weight, but it looks like he's filled in pretty well, and he's got better as the season's gone on. And on the top part of that quarterback, you have Colton Slayer of Knox. He's 26-5, sophomore, and he has Vince McCoy, who Chris Vargo wanted to let me know is the guy I'm sleeping on the most in the state. And I explained on the Deepwater podcast his ranking, how he has to be behind Longoria, because Longoria had beat him at the Al Smith. They haven't seen each other since. He's number 19 in the state, 4 in the semi-state. He's 37-4 on the sophomore. He's really tough. I had him pick last year to punch a ticket. I believe he lost first round last year at the semi-state to Tyler Quarles, or maybe it was Chase Michaels, and then Michaels and Quarles wrestled for a ticket there. So pretty good. Ranking guys kind of split out. I mean, obviously, your top ranked guys separated. They came out of the same regional. Top ranked by the rankings guys separated by the regional. That McCoy and potential McCoy and DeLuna match could be really good, but
yeah, should be an interesting weight class. Obviously, DeLuna's definitely the favorite. If you can see, we do have a nice little what they've done previously on there. So
yeah,
that this year. If you have not seen that, it's there. So 113, you got Sam Westfall at top, returning 7th place finisher Hayden Snowden from Attica, Ivan Martinez from Warsaw, and then Julian Gonzalez from Munster. So obviously Westfall is a heavy favorite there.
Yeah, good win for Sammy this past weekend. I heard through the grapevine, I don't think they've confirmed it yet, that he's going to make a college commitment coming up pretty soon. So congratulations to him and his family. I think where he's going to go, they're going to be getting a pretty strong wrestler. And obviously, I think he's going to be a consistent 125 in college.
Those are hard to find.
Avenging the loss last week to Nick Freeze in the regional. Nick Freeze had beat him at the – Nick Freeze and Sammy Westfall and Cruz Oweta were the ranking anomaly, and where I had one ranked differently in the state that I did in the semi-state, because that's how I roll sometimes. I actually seen another one too. So Westfall wrestled really well. Gonzalez has had some really good matches this year. I've been pretty impressed. I thought he wrestled Cruz pretty well at the sectional. And then I think Cruz kind of distanced himself at the regional a little bit. Ivan Martinez had a lot of really good kid results coming in. He was a kid that was on the watch list, but it never really made it in there. And Hayden Snowden, I believe, was in the rankings early on, but I'm not going to lie to you, I don't get to see a lot of Attica results. So that's a spot where I think Westfall put himself in a good spot by winning the regional last week.
Yeah. Going down, Isabel Kaplan, number 22 in the state, West Lafayette. This is a pretty interesting quarter bracket because I think everyone's pretty close. Isabel Kaplan, she wrestles Tyler Quarles from Lowell, who's number 26th. Then you got 12th in the semi-state, Dominic Dillon of Griffith versus Roman Marquez of South Bend Riley. So number 20. So a lot of guys with numbers. Well, 3 guys with numbers, 1 girl with a number beside her name. Would be interesting.
That Dylan and Marquez match should be pretty good. I tried to go back to see if they hit each other at Trikoff. They did not, but that'd be a good match. I thought Dylan wrestled well on Saturday. Um, a big win over James Mobley, put him in that 4 spot. Marquez has been really good this year. I think he's ran into Freeze at the conference in a couple other spots. So I know he had a pretty good showing at the Al Smith. Also, he was up a weight last year at 120, coming down. Tyler Corral's a really talented wrestler for Lowell, number 26 and number 8 in the semi-state. Just in a really tough bracket at Crown Point with Westfall, Freeze, him and Carter Gary, who we're going to talk about in the next quarter bracket, have traded wins and losses the entire year. Those have been really good matches. And shout out to Isabel Kaplan, 29-2 on the season. She's one of only 2 female competitors left in the field. Obviously, she got to make the choice when they went to the girls' side that she was still competing with the boys, so she chose to stay on the boys' side. Probably could have been a multiple time female champ in the state. Obviously, she's winning regionals.
Yeah.
She's had an incredible season. I believe one of her losses is to Marquez at the Twin Lakes. I'd have to look at it, but that should be a good one right off the bat. I know there's always going to be some 4s and 1s. Anytime you get 2 ranked wrestlers as a champ in a 4, always tough. So, but as good as anybody, when you have a singular female in the field, there tends to be a lot more positive energy behind that. Wrestling her with first round off the scale, I think that there's going to be a good buzz for her, and I think there's going to be a lot of support for her because honestly, she's trying to do something that's only been done a couple times in the state history.
Yeah, there's definitely. I mean, in Fort Wayne. In Fort Wayne, there we had, geez, Ocampo.
Yeah,
she qualified 4 times out of Fort Wayne, and every time, I mean, those stick rounds are. She had a couple good ones and stuff, and it was the crowd always got behind her, and that's not. You don't get that very often. You don't usually see a crowd going against a kid, and and they're good kids, and they're good wrestlers and stuff, and it's a lot of pressure on those kids, a lot more than usual. There's a lot there. I've seen some kids have some just big adrenaline dumps after wrestling tough for a little bit, and just if this was a regular dual meet or the local yokel invitational, totally different match. But this is the ticket round or first round.
First round, yeah.
Either way, you're going to be. There's a lot more, and there's less pressure on them because they're not going to have that adrenaline drum. They're used to it. Mm-hmm. So it could be. It's tough. It's not an easy thing because you have a crowd that is against you, and they're really not. I mean, they're cheering for her, but they're not cheering for you. So I did it at state. So
yeah, you did it. You did it the first time with Miracle.
And my kid still is like, I don't remember that match at all. I was totally blacked out.
Yeah, so
that was
that could be a very interesting. And Isabel Kaplan, she's a senior. She's had an incredible career up. So to punch a ticket. Possibly it would be just a capping on that. It doesn't take away from what she's accomplished. Regional champ, multiple times semi-state qualifier. So congratulations. That'd be a good quarter bracket.
Yeah.
Moving down.
Number 15, Brody Blevins, Mishawaka against James Mobley from Maryville. Number 24, Carter Gary, Hanover Central, and number 10, Graham Shearer from Tri-County. So another good solid quarter bracket of 2 guys that are ranked, and so I don't think we have any. Do we have any brackets yet? We're non-ranked.
There's only one. I think it's at 44. Okay. Yeah. So Carter Gary wrestling really well. Shout out to our boys from Team State. We see him all the time. Dab him up every time I see him now. So I seen his brother this weekend. I didn't get to see the little Kreider. I think I did see the little Kreidermans, but obviously Evan's out now. That should be a good one. Graham Shearer got in late, 36-2. Sophomore. Gary's having a really good freshman season. His attacks look really well, like we've talked about. his 9 losses have all been pretty solid losses. Like he's wrestled really good guys. I know he has a couple of quarrels. They've gone back and forth. Top part of that, James Mobley, Maryville, 18-11. That's probably the guy that's going to the semifinals, right? That's how they roll. They have
Yeah,
like one guy with
yeah,
double digit losses that always makes a run to the medals. Could be James Mobley. Brody Blevins, really talented. I believe he was out of the lineup last year, 15 in the state, 4 in the semi-state. I know one of his losses is a Cruzoetta. I would assume his other one's a Nick Freeze. Um, he's a big 113. Obviously, he's a senior there, so that should be a good one. Carter Gary's not as big at 113, but he's pretty slick on his feet. So
yeah, could be a good one. And then we got pretty tough draw on the bottom
yeah,
half, bottom quarter. Cruiseretta from Lake Central, returning state sixth place finisher Tanner Horn of Rochester, freshman, and then Isaac Warner, West Central, gets Nicholas Freeze, number 10 in the state and number 1 in the semi-state. So that's going to be a real good quarter bracket.
yeah.
I hate. I mean, it's not a crazy death draw, but it is a tough. I mean, this weight class, you knew they were going to be spread out, and it spread out fairly well, I'd say.
I think like Freeze, obviously having a really good year, 35-5. Westfall has had Cruz's number, so I'm sure like if that was the flip, if Westfall would have won that match, I think of Cruz's 4 losses, at least 2 of them are to Sam Westfall. So I know one of them was to Braden Head, and one of them is Jackson Jean. So that's a matchup that people are looking forward to. But if you come in, if you're looking past Tanner Horn, who has had a really good freshman season, 32-7, sectional champ, really long, real good student of the sport, talking with his dad, obviously. Different body type than his brother. Still pretty strong, but like sees the sport a little bit different, has a more cerebral approach to wrestling. And that's the like hard part is, both those guys are going to be looking to the ticket round because they know that there's a tough one there. And that's where you can kind of get bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially with points and, the matches go fast. But, Freeze was in a spot last year, I think, with DeLuna, where I had Freeze picked to win that match. And then he ended up losing to DeLuna, and DeLuna ended up punching his ticket. But that could be a really good one. Obviously, if you're Blevins or Kaplan, you're probably excited to see that you didn't have Nick Freeze in your quarter bracket.
Yeah.
Like I would assume, and maybe they did. Maybe like I don't know how his leaving Mishawaka and how his and Blevins' relationship was. Maybe they wanted to go at it, but I know he got Blevins this year at Al Smith pretty good. So
yeah, Wada beat Freeze 6-1 at Al Smith actually.
Yeah.
So that's a rematch there. But anything can happen in the tick around.
Anything can happen in the tick around.
It can and will happen. So 120, Ethan Alvarez, Maryville, tough freshman. He has Jack Dietz from Hanover Central, Alex Vallejo of Warsaw, and Colby Robinson, Rensselaer Central. So 5-28 possibly. Alvarez looking real good so far this year.
Yeah, works incredibly hard. Good kid. 37-2. His 2 losses, he bumped up early on to wrestle Verduzco and lost, and then he lost to Carver at Al Smith. So 2 pretty good losses. Dietz, under 500 for Hanover Central. Starts 0-0 at the state tournament, so he's had a better winning record in the state tournament that he has in the regular season. Vallejo 11-8, and then Kobe Robinson has had a really good season for Rensselaer Central. I know he's had some big wins. He's had some tough losses. He's been up at 26. He's been down at 20. So 28-5. But Alvarez has looked really tough. He had a really good win this past weekend over Acuna in overtime. I know he's got Acuna a couple times now, so Acuna's on the bottom part of that bracket, and I'm sure we'll get there.
Yep. Jacob Powers, number 11, versus Nash Burke. First round. Tough 1 versus 4 matchup there. 2 guys state ranked, 11-22. Simon Aylor from Harrison and Nicholas Slusser from Bremen. So that 11-12. So didn't separate the rank guys very well there, but you got 4 guys with state rankings or any rankings.
Burke 36-7 return state qualifier. I was surprised to see him take fourth coming out of the regional over at Hobart. Um, but I guess of the champs, you drew one of the two that didn't have, or I guess the only one. There was only one that had state experiences. So you've been there, you've done it, but that's a tough one. Powers is wrestling well. Him and Nathan Scott was a really good regional championship match, close. Uh, Powers at points this season has looked, obviously has a win over Case Bridge. He has a win over Justice Thrasher. So he's wrestled really well. So don't let the 19-10 record fool you. And then Allure, I believe he was there last year for Harrison. And then Slosser, 23-2. It means he came into the state tournament undefeated. I know he was on that list of guys that hadn't lost. Really tough sophomore. Bremen had some really solid kids, and I think he's kind of in that mix of those guys now. So that should be a good first round match.
Yeah, another good quarter bracket. Jackson Robbins, Rochester, number 14. Parker Barnard, Lafayette Jefferson, Jeffrey Fleming Griffith, and then number 17, Nathan Scott of New Prairie. So could have a 14 and 17 in the ticket round.
Yeah. So we'll start on the bottom part. Jeffrey Fleming, he's the son of a former teammate of ours at Calumet. So, always shout out to the guys that started off in the township or Black Oak. He's Black Oak, though. I know Jeff Fleming. His dad was a heavyweight for us.
Nice.
So he's a different body type than his dad was. So, good dude, though. He's
really now.
Yeah. So he had a really good win over Nash Burke. He's had some good wins this year, some interesting losses that's kept him out of the last semi-state rankings, but he's been in and out of the semi-state rankings this year. Nathan Scott's had an incredible year, 32-4 sophomore. I thought he looked really good on Saturday. I thought he was in that match to the end. Power just kind of, got his offense going in that second period. 17-5, so that should be a good one off the bat. And then shout out to Jackson Robbins, had a city year for a transfer. I know he was up at the Sparty Christmas duels last year, and he had some like middle or state results from the year before, and I was just like confused. He was at Caston, came over to Rochester, was having a really good year, 38-5. Really strong kid, holds position well. I know he wrestled my nephew, so that's a good win for him.
So, got on your radar.
Yeah, got on my radar. Actually, my brother is like a guy that I he tells me if he sees some guys that have some talent, and he was like, "This dude's pretty good." And then I kind of talked to Travis about it a little bit, and got to see him at the Trikoff. He's good, so that'll be a good one. Scott and Robbins, and I think they probably wrestle a very similar style. If Scott can get past my boy Jeff Fleming.
Yeah, you're putting a bullseye on Reese's back now.
Nah.
So last quarter bracket. This one's I don't think there are many quarter brackets with three guys with state experience.
Yeah.
All state qualifiers from last year. Joseph Mendoza against Chance Smith, and then Jake Higgins, freshman from North Newton, the only one that has not been to state yet. Hey, maybe he can get that. He can punch his ticket there. And then he has Xavier Acuna from Portage, who all number 8, 20, 15, 25. So a lot of guys there that have done it before. Going to be not an easy route there.
Let's start that bottom quarter bracket. Jake Higgins, shout out to the North Newton Spartans, man. You don't get to see a lot of the Spartans represented at the semi-state. He looked really good Saturday. Talking to Joe Stanley, he was on the call with me for a little bit. I guess he trains at Howe, so he's put in the work. So he'll have Acuna first round. It's good to see Acuna, back healthy, 25-40, a good match with Alvarez in the finals. I know he had some injuries early on, but he's a kid that, like, growing up he was that kid, right? Like, he was the guy that was doing the showcase stuff. Really, really talented. He was a returning qualifier from last year. A good family, so that'll be a good first round match. And then Chance Smith, again, I think he defaulted that third and fourth place match. Hopefully nothing serious. Joseph, and these are both guys, not only are they state qualifiers, I believe they both qualified last year at 120 also. Mm-hmm. I know Joseph Smith was a pretty big 120 last year. I think I started in the preseason rankings. He was at 32, and they let me know, nope, he's going to be at 20 again. So his singular loss was at the Spartan Classic, and Chance Smith, 30-7, obviously, Coach Dolly have those guys going. So right off the bat, that'll be a good one. Just hopefully those guys that were dealing with injuries are past that now.
Yeah, should be a good one. So 126. Whoops, too much. Cameron Sell from Harrison. He has Gabe Veet of Warsaw, Bite. Number 10 and 11 in the semi-state. And then Joel Barrera has Colin Strayer of Crown Point. So no crazy draw there for Strayer after taking second last week. So
Man, they said Smith left the match on the neck brace. I haven't heard any updates yet. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it was nothing serious, just precautionary.
yes, definitely don't want to end your senior season like that. Or he's a senior, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, no, junior.
junior. Well,
Mendoza is the senior. I knew there was one in there.
so
Colin Strayer, turning fourth place finisher, probably a heavy favorite in that quarter bracket.
yeah, Strayer had obviously a really good sectional, beat Verduzco, who had a handful of wins over him. Looked good on Saturday. Barrera, shout out to him in Central. Not a ton of semi-state guys for them also. Senior 25-13. He's had a good season. We knew at 26 coming out of the Crown Point regional that there was going to be two regional champs that were probably not going to be super happy with their draw. Like,
Yeah.
and I mean, that's a couple spots when you wake up, you're incredibly happy that you won the regional, and then you get your draw on Sunday and they delay it until a certain time, and then you open it up and you, oh, I got a state semifinalist for a ticket.
Yeah.
10 and 11 on that top part. So I believe was a semi-state qualifier last year. I believe Veet was also. So a couple guys with semi-state experience there, but obviously Strayer, top 10 with a medal, is wrestling well right now, which is the most important part.
Yeah. So then this quarter bracket's going to be another doozy. Grant Holloway, Rochester, qualifier in 2024. He's number 24 in the state. Bryson Kirkbanks, McCutcheon. And then you got Noel Verduzco taking a couple of losses the past couple of weeks. He has a tough Diego Bentoncourt from Munster in the first round. Man, this will be another real good quarter bracket. Verduzco, you got to wrestle well at the right time. I mean, he's having tough kids, so it's not unheard of to when you have to wrestle these guys back to back. But in all honesty, this is probably the week that you want to be healthy and wrestling the best. And I mean, the other two don't matter if you win semi-state.
And like obviously, I didn't see the Strayer match, but it looked like it was pretty close. I'm sure. Like I think when Noel's on his offense, he's as good as anybody in the state. Like obviously, he was the number one ranked guy. It wasn't because it was handed to him.
Yeah.
He had just majored Blake Getz, who had a win over Don Brown and had a pinfall over Ryan Hockaday early on. Betancourt and Verduzco wrestled at the NCC conference. I was on the call there with Heartland Sports Network. Betancourt did toss him to his back for a second. So, like, they were, Verduzco's kind of doing his thing. Betancourt kind of put him to his back. Verduzco, didn't get pinned, and then it ended up getting the fall after that. That Verduzco and Max Quiros match, if you guys get a chance, go back and watch it. You can download Jed TV on your Fire Stick or your Roku. Man, that was a really good match. I was on the call with that. I was on the call singular. And you can watch in the back corner and see the Tegan Newell Fernandez match in the front corner. Verduzco gets a takedown in the first, gets a turn, so it's 5-0. Second period, Quiros chooses neutral. Verduzco gets another takedown, rides him out for the period, so it's 8-0. He chooses down going into the third. Quiros lets him up, and I want to say with about 35 seconds left, Quiros takes him down, it's on the edge. He has a Turk in, looks like he's going to get back. He ends up not getting any back. I know they stopped him for some injury time. Quiros, I say it on the broadcast, and then we're going to talk about it in the next quarter bracket. That dude has a gas tank, man. Like, we talk about guys that are region. That dude's in your face. He's prepared to wrestle you for, 10 minutes if he has to. Like, and obviously, he doesn't back down. It doesn't matter if it's 1-0, 10-0. He's going forward. He sets a pace, and not that Noel doesn't. Like, obviously, styles make matchups, and that was one I was really excited to watch. They come back after the injury timeout. Not timeout, but injury. And it's 9-3. Quiros lets him up 10-3. And there was about 25 seconds left, and I don't I don't think there was any stall calls, and even if there is, you're not getting 7 stall calls in the
Yeah.
last 20 seconds. Verduzco kind of shoots a shot. Looks like he goes to hang on, and Kiros cuts the corner, cradles him up, puts him to his back for 7, ties it, and goes to overtime. And now at that point, the momentum shifted, and Kiros, I think Verduzco kind of takes a half shot, and Kiros just kind of runs him over, and gets the takedown in overtime. And you know, Verduzco looked devastated. Like, obviously he wants to be a regional champ. He just lost sectional. And like, not like we're best friends or anything like that. I like the way he wrestles. I'm a fan. And I just told him, like, hey man, like, and I told the same thing to Kiros, like, let's have that next week at the semi-state. And let's get that again in Indy, because like that's the matches that are going to make the sport grow, because it's offense and it's just excitement. And like, I was happy to be there. And then like, if you're Verduzco, just win the last one, right?
Yep.
Just if you win the last one, you're good. Holloway, I had a parent tell me that Holloway is also a funky wrestler. That's going to be a really tough matchup for Verduzco. That they're putting their money on Holloway. So he was a state qualifier. I don't think he wrestled last year. He's got his legs back up. He's wrestling well right now. But that's not a match you want to see. You don't want to see 2 guys with rankings next to their name for a ticket.
Yeah.
You want guys that are under 500 for a ticket, right? So,
Yeah.
So yep. So going down.
Should be a good one. Maximus Kiros. I thought he was a senior, but I guess he's only a junior.
Yeah.
Seems like he's been around for a while. Never a dig. It's just like, man, these guys have been around for a while, and then because they've been in the rankings, we talked about him a lot. He has Marianne McLean from Maryville, Colin Motes from Bremen, and then Cameron Neust of West Central. So Kiros put himself in a really good position by winning.
Yeah, Motes and Neust were both at the semi-state last year. Neust, a senior from West Central. Marion McLean had a really good sectional, won the sectional, beat Diego Betancourt, beat Luke Need there. Didn't have the same success of the regional, which puts him in a really tough spot. Mm-hmm. Like, I know they've wrestled. You never count out Coach Maldonado's team. Like, he gets those guys fired up. Max has had some incredible semi-state matches. He lost as a freshman in the first round to Cameron Woods. It was 23-18. Yeah, so that was a good match. They're kind of throwing each other around. Max would come back. Woods would, I think, got him to his back. Max would come back. So, and then last year, him and Matthew Maldonado, I believe, was an overtime match in the ticker round. So, he's had some really exciting. He's exciting to watch. So I'm sure his dad. We got his dad on the call a little bit, like kind of talked about it, and I'm sure like he's been around the sport. He coached at Whiting when I was in high school, and I'm sure having Max in these crazy matches probably takes a couple years off your life.
Yeah.
He said 15 years between Anthony and Max. So, and Anthony was there on Saturday.
Nice. So Luke Need, top of the bottom quarter bracket, number 28 from Lake Central. Ben Armstrong from Ileana Christian. Alex Van Doren from North White, number 8 in the semi-state versus number 9 in the semi-state. Aiden Diaz. Unfortunately, he's related to Jose. He doesn't have any choice in that matter. But so that good spot for Diaz to maybe punch a ticket. Got a couple seniors in there. Luke Needs a tough junior from Lake Central.
Yeah, Van Doren, really good season, 35-2. Diaz had a really good win last year. Tough ticket round match last year. Jose did tell me we had to update the brothers' numbers for their family record. He said when he's retiring, he wants those guys to be up there. I think he thinks they're number 12. So he sent me all their records.
There's a lot of them I have not updated. That is something I will fully admit that has been neglected and is on the never short to-do list.
So Aiden and Van Doren will be a good one off the bat. I know Van Doren's had a really good season, so that should be tough. And then on the top part of that, Ben Armstrong, we talked about it last week. His uncle wrestled. He was a senior when I was a freshman at Calumet. And his dad was a Marine. He wrestled at Calumet, 2-time regional champ. He told me how much more tougher the regionals are now than when he was in school. He's a Crown Point kid. He's at Ileana. I think he's the first underclassman to qualify for the semi-state out of Ileana Christian. They used to be in Illinois. They had just got IHSAA eligibility in the last probably 5 years, I believe.
Yeah, they were in Indiana for a few years in the IHSA. They had to go through like a provisionary period or something. They've
Yeah.
only been HSA for a few years, I think. Less than 5, I can tell you that much.
And then he had wrestled Need at that Lake County tournament. Luke Need's really tough. He was been around for a long time. I know he knows the Newells very well. I believe that was at one point. I know that they were really close. I don't know if they still are. I'm sure Eric will tell us in the comments. But he's a big RWA kid, so that should be a good first round matchup to see who made the adjustments there. And Needs put himself in a good spot to qualify. I'm not sure if him and Diaz wrestled at the Harvest Classic either. But good spot for Luke Need. Obviously, you missed Strayer and Verduzco, which waking up Sunday, you're kind of holding your breath, and then you see you're like, okay, I can deal with that.
Yeah, definitely. So 132, Warren Brown Maryville, number 13. He has number 11 in the semi-state. Grant Merrill from Twin Lakes. Isaac Bikama from Hanover Central, number 19. He has Braxton Shines from South Bend Riley.
Bikam had a really good win over Porter Ivankovic of LaPorte at the first round of the regional. Just, kind of talking to the depth of what Crown Point Regional is. Braxton Shines had a really good senior year. Coach Flat always has those guys ready to go. B Flat's always those guys always scrap. So that should be a good one right off the bat. Like, if Bikam is not ready, obviously Shines doesn't have a number next to his name, but I know he's been in and out of the rankings the last couple of years. And then Warren Brown, a returning state qualifier, put himself in a good spot up top. He'll have Grant Mall. Twin Lakes. I think he might be the only Twin Lakes representative. So representing Monticello, Indiana Beach.
Yes.
So
going down, our first undefeated wrestler, Sol Sieberchrist from North White, senior 43-0. He has a tough Aiden Campbell, number 17 and 25, first round, and then number 12 in the semi-state, Rylan Moats from Bremen, and Hunter Mallory from Lowell. So 3 guys with the rankings. Should be a pretty good quarter bracket. Sieberchrist been in the mix for the last 3 years and hoping to get North White to the state finals again.
Devin Beaver confirmed that they did not wrestle at the Harvest Classic, so they lost to Kreiderman. So they have not been in there. And then Vargo, I agree. He said Flat is single-handedly keeping South Bend Wrestling alive. I agree with that. So let me start on the bottom part of that. Hunter Mallory and Rylan Moats. Rylan Moats 26-4 from Bremen. We kind of talked about them having success in those sophomore and junior class. Hunter Mallory is wrestling really well. I thought he wrestled Gavin Lewis incredibly well in the regional championship. He's been coming on a lot more the last couple of weeks, where I think he took some losses early on that were kind of head scratching, but I do believe that he's kind of put it together and figured it out. But like, how can you not, right? Like, you're between 2 number ones. Like, at some point you're like, and then also, Logan Schwarzkopf, who we're going to talk about in a couple of weights, also probably right around that same weight class. So tough for him. And then Aiden Campbell and Sieberchrist wrestled last year. And I believe Saul won that match. I think that was the one that got him into the rankings. I was surprised to see Campbell at the 4 coming out of the Hobart Regional. I know I think he's dealt with some injuries, he's been in and out of the lineup, but a very tough wrestler. That'll be a good first-round match. But you're right. The Sieberchrist family, his older brother had a really good run and then wasn't able to punch his ticket. And then obviously Saul has had a really good career. Probably I'd be willing to bet he's north of 100 wins with single-digit losses.
He has 180, 181, then 31. So that's 112 and 140 wins in his career. So not too bad.
Yeah. He had 12 losses, 140 wins.
140 wins. How many? Okay, hold on. I just had it up. And 10 losses.
10 losses. So not a bad career record. But I'm sure that he's going to be wanting to wrestle Friday night, right? They're the second session.
Yeah. So going down, we got the bottom half of the bracket. Gavin Lewis, number 5 in the state, 2-time state placer. He has Gavin Reed from Mishawaka, first round, number 9 in the semi-state. Number 10, the semi state, Luis Gomez of Munster will have Gunnar Payne of Attica. That's a good name, Gunnar Payne.
Uh, yeah, it is. I wonder if he's is down there at Contenders or Red Cobra. I know some of those Attica guys were at some point. Um, Gomez has wrestled really well. I think that him and Mallory had a really good conference championship match. I think they've done a good job. He had a really good Mooresville. I believe he was fourth. That should be a good one right off the bat. Gavin Reed, sophomore, 27-11. He'll have. I know Nick Wiesjohn is a big fan of Gavin Reed. He told me that's going to be the guy going forward. He thinks he's going to have a really good career. Tough draw for him. Gavin Lewis obviously is a three-time regional champ, two-time medalist. Uh, didn't I thought he was going to kind of pull away at one point in that regional championship, and Mallory kept it close. And but number 5 in the state. But like we kind of seen, and we'll talk about it in the Evansville show. 132 is a wide open weight now. Like I mean, anything can happen. Like
Yeah.
the one guy I probably would have said 2 weeks ago was a lock, and obviously I've heard some like other stuff, but like that he was a little bit under the weather. But you know, it's the time that's part of the game. You have to be healthy, and you know,
Yep.
sickness, and this is the time of the cold flu season, right?
Yep.
So
We've all seen it. I mean, a lot of kids, you could see some weird results in this time of year, and sometimes you can point it right back to that, but that's what we deal with. So the bottom quarter bracket, Lane Horn. Dad texts us on. That's no. State placer last year, 7th. He has Colton Nugent from New Prairie having a good sophomore year. Rafael Sanchez Jr. of McCutcheon will wrestle Aiden Whitry from Lake Central. So only one guy with a ranking and a pretty high one there.
yeah, his only loss this year is to Jensen Boyd at Mooresville. Two-time qualifier, got a medal last year. Four-time regional champ now. Used to come out of the Fort Wayne regional. They came out at one of the Fort Wayne regionals. Now they come out of this one. Nugent's wrestled really well. That's a tough draw for him. I mean, I don't know. Like obviously, like Horn's the highest ranked wrestler, and he came out the same regional as Lewis. So Nugent's wrestled well, but that's probably not the draw you want. Rafael Sanchez and Aiden Whitry. Lauren Horn's the only guy in that quarter bracket with a ranking, so I think he's at a good spot. But I mean, that potential Lewis and Horn semifinal, obviously 5 and 3 there. You know, that's one of the ones I was kind of going through some of the stuff at state I didn't want to see, and I'm really hoping we don't see East Chicago and Evansville Friday nights. I think that like just you have some of the top guys in there because you'll have 3 over there that are probably top 10 and 3 over here that are top 10.
Yeah.
So,
Didn't he? Horn wrestled Rio freshman year at state.
Freshman year, yep, Friday night. He had beat him that summer. Obviously, Horn had a great IPO. I believe he placed ahead of Revan Dickman there too. Was number 1 the entire year. Took a loss to Aiden Bollinger, which put him in that potential Friday night matchup with Rio. And then his sophomore year, that's when they came over to East Chicago, and he drew the kid from Jay County, right? And he was winning. I think he got headlocked from his the kid was on his belly and headlocked him and pinned him. So
yeah,
that was in Evansville.
So yeah, tough. Yeah, you get you leave Fort Wayne and you get Fort Wayne.
Yeah, I did. I thought that was a good spot for him. Like he wrestles this guy all the time, and he had to ride back with him, so it probably was angry. Yeah. Travis probably wasn't a happy Travis.
So going down 138, Alfredo Origel from Rensselaer, number 23, Caden Morrissey from Ileana Christian, Cole Miser from Culver Academy, senior, and then Valentine Cavarubias.
Yeah, so Meister, I believe the only wrestler from Culver Academies. He had been in the rankings early on. I think he's jumped around a couple of weights. I know he was up at 44. Valentin Corvarubias, I think he got eligible right at the team state, 19-4 in the season. I think that'll be a good matchup. And then on the top part, shout out to Caden Morrissey, huge win for him over ranked wrestler at the regional to advance from Chesterton. And then Origel, I'm happy to see him out there because I know like I had got sent a video when they were wrestling Lowell. his knee looked like he got buckled up a little bit, but obviously he was healthy enough to win the regional. I know he'll be looking to punch a ticket. He's had a really good career. I believe he started off at North Newton. Then he lost a year also to transfer. Solid year last year. He's having a really good senior year.
Yep. Going down 138, number 1, Evan Stanley, turning state third placer. And what did he third or fourth in Illinois his freshman year? I didn't have that on there.
Fourth in Illinois, third in Indiana.
So
climbing that ladder.
Yes. He has Brett Bowman from Benton Central, sophomore. Hassan Kazenda from Maryville. Did I do that right?
It sounds good to me.
He has Will Mason of Mishawaka. So
they told me
mad at me.
Dave Maldonado gave me the business because at the Al Smith I was calling him Jason, and he said that he was upset that since my entire family's Latinas that like I should know better. It's Hassan, and I asked Paul. He said Quezada. He said, or you can call them the Quesadilla brothers. He said they get that a lot. But Quezada and Will Mason's wrestling really well. He's wrestled Vargo tight the last 2 weeks. I know those guys are buddies too. He had dealt with an injury 1 year too, so I'm really happy to see Will Mason back on the mat and having success. That's just a really tough draw, right?
Yeah.
Anything can happen. Evan Stanley, Jesse Mendez said something in his Big Ten thing. When he wrestles his match for 7 minutes, he's unbeatable. I believe the same thing for like a guy like Evan Stanley. When he wrestles his style of wrestling, he's incredibly hard to beat. Mm-hmm. When he's heavy on the head, getting his motion going, getting his takedowns, he looks unbeatable. I think when he lets the match get slowed down a little bit and kind of wrestles the other pace, and we've seen it last year in the semifinals with Schaefer. Shout out to Schaefer too. Huge win this weekend.
Beating Jake.
Yeah, beat Jake. He was able to get some points early on and then got slowed down. But like when Evan Stanley is wrestling, Evan Stanley's style of wrestling, I think he's incredibly hard to beat.
Yep.
Now, other guys are out there too, and their job is to like not, let him wrestle in the style. So,
yep. So going down, potential death draw averted here. Angelo Vargo, returning state qualifier from Penn. We won't speak any ill words of his father. Simon Martinez from Highland, number 8 in the semi-state. Cameron Cruz from Valpo, number 10 in the semi-state. And Roman Del Real of Lafayette Central Catholic. So Vargo got in a good spot. So the bracket gods were on his side. I don't know what they sacrificed over in Penn, but they sacrificed something. So
that was the deal. He let me be on the Deepwater podcast so they can get this better draw. Good fortune.
Yeah.
Angelo was injured his freshman year and then lost to the semi. I believe he lost to the semi-state as a sophomore. Last year was a qualifier, lost Friday night. Simon Martinez is tough though. Like I would be willing to like that's not one I would look past. He scrapped a lot this year with Jacoby Moore. He's pretty good on his offense, so that could be an interesting first match. I mean, obviously, Chris is watching, so I don't think they look past anybody. But Martinez has scored points in bunches. Cameron Cruz looked solid on Saturday for Valpo for Coach Cook, and shout out to Lafayette Central Catholic again, another squad that doesn't get a ton of guys to the semi-state. So LCC, Romeo Del Rio, congrats.
Yep. Then the bottom quarter bracket, you got number 25 Jacoby Moore Hobart. Manuel White from South Bend Riley, and then Israel Williams, number 9 in the semi-state from West Central. He'll have a state placer, 3-time qualifier, Sonny Sessa from Crown Point, so he could have 11 and 25 there. Sessa in a good spot there, but definitely not an easy match in the take around possibly.
Yeah, I think if we were to seed it, it'd probably be similar to this. Well, if you just seeded the champs, because you would have to have Stanley and Sessa separated. So we'll go on the bottom part. Israel Williams has had a really good career for West Central. He's been there a couple times. Tough draw. I mean, you get a senior. Any of the Crown Point guys are going to be a tough draw there. Multiple state experience. Sonny's wrapping up a pretty successful career at Crown Point. Obviously, he's been a part of some really good teams. That matchup, Manuel White and Jacoby Moore. Jacoby Moore's a guy that can create some problems. I feel like he's a bigger 38. He's pretty good in the top position, and not like good like he just hangs on. He's good like he gets turns. So like he's good with the legs, and if he gets an opportunity, I don't think that they're afraid to choose top. So which you see that a little bit more with some of the old school coaches that he's automatically going to go down. You just cut him, you never get your shot to be in your best position, and as long as it's not like a quick fall, I would assume that at some point Moore and Sessa will probably be on the mat, and Jacoby's pretty good. Like I think he has a loss to Origel up top, so I probably would have seen it the same way. But really good sophomore there for Hobart, and obviously they need those guys. That was our first Hobart wrestler that we've seen in the bracket, right?
I believe. I thought we had somebody else earlier. We class before. I remember saying something about Hobart.
Maybe. Hobart Regional.
Yeah. So 144, Hudson Odell from Odell. Is he an Odell kid from Penn? Senior, first year starting for them, I believe. Having a good year. Regional champ. He has unranked Logan Hernandez from Griffith, Braden Morris of Harrison, and then Luke Reed, number 3 in the state, number 1 in the semi-state, number 1 in our hearts because he's coached by Jason Cook. So we have a lot of sympathy for him. Reed having a good year, took a loss this past weekend in a good weight class. So we'll talk more about that, but solid ticker on match there.
Yeah. Let's start the bottom part. Braden Morris, West Lafayette, Harrison, Luke Reed, tough man. That was another one coming out of the Crown Point Regional. Someone's going to look at their bracket and be a regional champ, and you got Luke Reed, who's a returning semifinalist, a guy that is all go. Like he likes to score points. He's going to go at you. Had a really good match with Tegan Newell in the final of the regional there. Newell ended up beating him on a last second takedown. Really, really tight match. So Newell ended up being the regional champ out of there. Great day for Tegan. I know those guys train a lot. It was a reversal from the DAC. On the top part there, Logan Hernandez. I've known his dad and his family since I was probably 6 playing Little League. Big move kid. Likes to go upper body. Hudson Odell. I know Devin told me he was really good in the top position at Al Smith, and another guy that not only does he ride well, but he also gets turns. He's a guy that he's pretty good with that cross wrist ride, and he racks them up, especially with the 4-point near fall. He's pretty good, so that'll be a good quarter bracket. That Odell and Reed match would be a little bit of a contrast. Obviously, Reed I think will be the favorite. He's 3 in the state, 1 in the semi-state, returning 4th placer, but he's a lot of offense guy, and Odell's pretty good in top.
So going down, you got 3 guys with state rankings. Number 11, Cooper Wilkins from Portage, qualifier last year. Trevor Crump from South Bend Riley. Then you have number 7, Aiden Fernandez from New Prairie, who was a state qualifier in California. I should get that updated. He will have number 30, Chase Peckney from Frontier.
We'll start in that bottom quarter bracket. Part of that, Peckney, number 37 in the semi-state, 32-1, took his first loss in the regional championship match. Aiden Fernandez is really good. He's as advertised. He likes to put on a show. I got to talk to him a little bit. He did tell me that California full wrestleback every round. So, yeah. So if they can do it, I'm assuming that they have more schools than we do, but I could be wrong. But he's definitely a guy that's going to put up points. He ended up teching Dalton Robson that first round of regional. Looks really good. His finishes are good. His snaps to attacks are really good. Crump, a really tough senior, 20-4 for Riley. And we've talked about Bill Flatt and his impact on South Bend wrestling. Cooper Wilkins with some injuries. I know he sat a big part of the season out, but he's tough, man. Returning state qualifier. That could be possibly a good one, and a little bit of a style matchup with Wilkins, pretty deadly with a cradle too, and then Fernandez, who's pretty good on his offense. After the Newell match, him and Newell was a really good match. It was sudden victory in the semis. He was like, wasn't as upset as I thought he'd be. He's like, yeah, at least we put on a show. That was pretty good, right? So
Yeah,
good kid, man. I like that he's out there going for it. So
that's good. So bottom half bracket, Keegan DeForage of Rensselaer Central, number 11 in the semi-state, Carter Hall, Hanover Central, number 9 in the semi-state, Michael Turner from River Forest, number 12 in the semi-state. He'll have number 26, but not ranked in the semi-state,
ranking
Corey
anomaly right
Gardner.
there.
So everyone with a different number beside their name. So this is a Mike Pick'em special.
Yeah, that's a little rankings anomaly for you guys.
Who does,
Corey Gardner's had some good
rankings
wins.
in the East Chicago rankings? Do we know? Is it your alter ego, Tony?
Yep. No, I just do them on different days, and then the information comes in at different paces, right?
Yeah.
It's a little bit easier for me to do the semi-state rankings. I try to get them out at the beginning of the week, and then coaches are so kindly putting in results by the middle of the week that I get to see some of the results that would impacted their kid in a different way. So,
Yeah.
That bottom part, Michael Turner has been around the entire been in the rankings the entire time at River Forest. He's had some really good wins. He's a tough out. I know 28-6. I didn't see as much River Forest this year. Corey Gardner's had, obviously he's ranked in the state, not in the semi-state, but he's pretty tough. And then on that top part, Carter Hall did himself a service 2 weeks ago, beating Dalton Robson, which was a huge win that put himself in a good spot. I don't know if they wrestled Hanover and Rensselaer, but off the bat, that could be a good match for Carter Hall. Keegan DeForge just gave Chase Peakness his first loss. But of the champs, I would assume that's probably the one. Probably the one that you would want to draw. The only one that wasn't in the rankings, and obviously the three other guys coming out of your regional were pretty good.
Yeah. So bottom quarter bracket, Tejon Noel, state two-time state qualifier, placed 8th as a freshman. He has Wyatt Tudor from Delphi. Then they'll get the winner of Delio Castro from Warsaw and Jared. There's a Herod.
I think that was just Jared. They didn't tell me anything on that one.
Interesting. Jared Quesada from Maryville. So might want to ask about that.
Yeah, I'll get some pronunciation going. Dilo Castro Quezada is going to be a good match. I know that they're super high on Quezada. That's a tough draw. Obviously, a guy that's been to state twice and has a medal. Never a guy you want to see in the ticket round. I know he's got we talked about him a little bit at the Al Smith when he had Jordan Rains. He's a guy that's going to go at you the entire time. He works incredibly hard. Wyatt Tudor, tough draw. Tegan Newell wrestled really well Saturday. Regional champ. I had him on the mic, so if you want to hear Tegan give a shout out to the Red Dogs and his prediction for Team State, check out the Heartland Sports Network. He gives a nice little breakdown of what he believes is going to happen. So, but he wrestled really well. He uses his length well, which is he gives problems that way. If you can't close distance, it's tough to get the legs, and he's tough to score on. So the takedown he had in overtime against Fernandez was really slick, a little slide by to a pick, and then the takedown he had on Reed in overtime or in to win the match was really good. So wrestling his best wrestling at the right time. He's kind of been over the map, right? I think he was overcut a little bit at 6. And by saying a little bit, I think that he was significantly overcut at 106, which I think hurt him his freshman year. And then just being in a tough lineup, he was up at 150 last year, qualified, lost to Easton Doster Friday night, which you got a returning champ. We talked about it on the broadcast when he was on. At Team State last year, at 150, he was in a takedown match with Sean Breedlove, who's now the number one at 175, and at 144, and then turned around and wrestled 132, I believe, at freshman sophomore and won freshman sophomore state. So, I think 44 is probably closer to the weight that he's naturally should be. Mm-hmm. And really, he's probably still maybe a little bit higher. He's probably not cutting super hard to get there. But I think he's starting to peak at the right time. And like obviously, like we like his dad. He didn't come in and ask about where's the girls, so I didn't even know if we had a gorilla radio if we're not getting asked what about the girls.
Yeah. So yeah, and he is a ginger. He's not afraid to snatch souls. He did it last week.
Yeah,
Not
man.
afraid to take a soul. And
He gets the Taijan. We talked about that a little bit on the Deepwater podcast. The East Chicago announcer. There's been an announcer at East Chicago or a teacher at East Chicago since Bobby Joe was in school. Obviously, he's seen some Taijans go through there. Dude, he was hyped. He got it rolling, bro. And he can. And obviously, if you haven't seen Tegan, he's probably a 6 foot, pretty skinny ginger kid. And he's like, Taijan knew well. And I was like, you see that kid and you see Taijan? All right, man. I like it. I see where you're going with this. So 150.
So 150, Ryan Hall Penn, Jr., number 89 in the semi-state. Caleb Wallace from Benton Central. You got battle 2 ranked guys. Joe Pond, number 6 in the state, and Kristen Tapia from Portage, number 29. So a really good first round match there.
Yeah. Tapia's had a good season. Had some really good wins. Had some losses. Obviously, got 15 of them. But he's scrappy, man. He's going to be in your face. Good Portage kid. Kind of classic throwback Portage kid. Joe Pond, really good freshman year. Probably not what you would think when you think of like a freshman 150. He's pretty tall and lanky.
Yeah.
I met his mom this weekend. They call him Junior. His dad's a chiropractor, so if you need your back crack, go see Joe Pond Senior. And they were kind of like waffling on what weight they wanted to go. 32-4. He has a loss to Luke Reed early on, and then I believe his other 3 losses are Clinton Shepard. And I said, well, if you wrestle Clinton Shepard the next 2 weekends, you're going to be pretty happy. So I think if you continue to do that, I think you're going to be in good shape. Top part of that, Caleb Wallace of Benton Central, 20-14. And Ryan Hall, unranked, number 9 in the semi-state, 29-7. He's had a really solid year. Actually, I shouted out Ryan Hall on the Deepwater podcast and kind of gave a breakdown of that. So having a really good year for the Kingsmen. Just one of those guys that's, man, Penn got a bunch of kids that can just plug in that lineup and make it to semi-state and win regionals. And, you know,
that's the Penn way.
That's the Penn way, man.
That's the Harper way. Fill them up with some urban swirl.
Yep.
The semi-state. It's kind of like the Butler McDonald's, but for Penn.
Yeah, probably a little bit more healthy, and their ice cream machine works.
Yes, their ice cream machine better work. So going down at 150, RJ McCoy, Lafayette Jeff, number 19. He has some DeKalb County roots in him, so he got that DeKalb County Butler meanness in there. I don't know if he's ever had any at the Butler McDonald's. I don't know if they make it back up to the beautiful God's country, Northeast Indiana, DeKalb County. Great area to call home. Nick's obviously selling a house in DeKalb County, I guess, for somebody. I didn't know he was a realtor now, but he has Maxim Kotenek from South Bend Riley, Caden Mahaffey from Chesterton, number 8 in the semi-state versus number 10 in the semi-state, Landon Garrison from Highland.
Man, Chesterton's had a bunch of kids that are at the semi-state that have got better through the year that all have like 10 losses. I was talking to Anthony Hawkins. He's coaching there with Coach Trevino now. And I was like, man, like all these guys are in the conference finals and your sectional champions, and they're all 30-12, 30-10. And he's like, yeah, like they did this thing that a lot of kids should do. And we talked about with Jesse on Monday is they listened to their coaches and they got better. So
amazing concept.
Amazing concept. So Mahaffey's wrestling well. I know he's had some good wins this year. Landon Garrison had a really good freshman sophomore state last year. 31-9. I know he's wrestled a pretty solid schedule for Highland. He's hit some really tough opponents. That should be a really good first round match. RJ McCoy, 34-2. Trying to get it done for Bob not Bob. I almost went
Tom Miller.
Yeah, Tom Miller.
Last year he announced his retirement.
Yep. So really wrestling well for those guys. He had a really good freshman sophomore state last year too, 34-2. And senior obviously out of South Bend Riley, he's going to come out there and scrap first match, and that should be a good matchup.
So bottom half bracket, Markel Shelton from Maryville, number 23. He has Logan Schwarzkopf from Lowell freshman that has wrestled 6 weight classes. Asher Jones from Winnemac, and then Caden Webb from Rensselaer Central. So 17 and 23 in the ticker round possibly.
Yeah, Caden Webb, Asher Jones should be a pretty good match right off the bat. Like I know I said last week, I'm surprised that Winnemac goes to South Bend for their regional. I would assume they would go to Lafayette or to Logansport. I feel like they're closer to Logansport. I could be wrong in my geography of that area, but I'm assuming that Logansport or Winnemac is right where Fair Oak Farms is at. So, which is closer to us actually. So, I think that'd be a good first round matchup. And then, what's up?
It is way closer to. It's just west of Rochester.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
so it's a little bit further. I mean, just south of Bass Lake. So where's Knox go? Does Knox go to?
Knox goes to Crown Point.
Crown Point. Okay, so Winnemac could be. Yeah, they're right. Yeah, they're. I mean, they're just north of. I mean, Rochester could easily go to Logansport too. So
send them over, bro. Yeah, we need to even it out. So Logan Schwarzkopf was losing 7-1 in the first round of the regional to Preston Hammond, a ranked wrestler from New Prairie. Locked up a headlock and stuck him. So he's dangerous. We've kind of talked about it. He has wins at 26, 32, 38, 50, and 44. He's kind of been a chess piece for Coach English and those guys. Markel Shelton's coming on at the end of the year, 29-7. I believe 5 of those losses were pretty early on. He's one of those guys that has got better as it's 40 miles from Fair Oaks. It's Hunter Hickman. I appreciate it. Sometimes you just see the sign and you think it's there. So
yeah, well, you spell Winnemac wrong all the time, so maybe you're thinking of a different Winnemac. Win-imac.
my spelling bee championship in the 3rd grade coming into question now.
You won spelling bee in 3rd grade. There's no way. I want to see the award. I want to see the trophy. Because if you peak then.
Hey, Jason Cook's not wrong. That's 100% what it is. Jason Cook, Mike looks at 65 as if the towns are so close. That's 100% what I'm thinking right there. And I believe Rossville should go to Logansport too.
Yeah, because you got to get Rosenbarger back there.
How does Rossville go to Newcastle, but I feel like they're between Lafayette and Kokomo?
Are we going to have a geography episode?
That's true. I drove OC's car to the Kokomo semi-state for softball, and we played to the championship. I was going home at 10. She told me she had a singular headlight out. Driving those backcountry roads, she had 2 headlights out. So I had to pull over in the Rossville parking lot and wait for a ride.
Nice. Yeah, it is. Yeah, that is like really close to Lafayette.
So my 65 geography on that one was pretty accurate.
Yes. Yeah, that's way closer. I mean, they're almost closer. They're just as close to Kokomo.
Yeah,
I mean, that is yeah.
I told you, man, right between Kokomo and Lafayette, I drove it. Bottom part of that quarter bracket, we have on the top part of that, we have number 1 ranked in the state, number 1 in the semi-state, Clinton Shepard, runner-up 2 years ago, lost his year last year, singular loss on the season. And we have Joseph Gonzalez, a senior from Griffith, 22-9. And on the bottom part of that bracket, you have Max Leon of Lafayette Harrison, 26-13, and Lawrence Wood of LaVille, 12-5. I didn't see a lot of LaVille in the bracket, so shout out to I think they're the Lancers. Shout out to the LaVille Lancers. But that's a tough draw. Clinton Shepard's wrestling really well. He obviously looked. There was a point on Saturday where I was like, man, maybe this is going to go a little bit longer than I thought it was. And then Evan Stanley got a really quick fall, and Shepard got a really quick fall. And then MJ Staples got a really quick fall, and Hiver got a really quick fall. And I was like, all right, man, we're gonna get out of here.
Yeah, they said we got things to do tonight.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, Shepard's pretty good.
Really good.
Unfortunate place to be placed for those other guys. 1, 5, 7. Speaking of Jeffrey Hivert, number 1 in the semi-state, 4th in the state, 3-time state medalist. He has Alejandro Alvarez of Portage, Jeremiah McKinney, North Judson, and then Nolan Brown, 12th in the semi-state from Faith Christian. Not the number one you were wanting to see, but there wasn't really any good ones that you really wanted to draw into here.
Yeah, shout out to Faith Christian. I didn't see a lot of Faith Christian in there either. So Nolan Brown's been there a couple times, and Jared McKinney. Not a lot of Blue Jays of North Judson in the bracket either. So,
Ooh, man, that's a good one.
yeah,
North Judson San Pierre.
San Pierre. Alejandro Alvarez. He's also wrestled in several weights this year, so he has wins in a couple different spots. Jeffrey Hyvert, 4-time regional champ. Which is really impressive because he won that first one over Cole Solomon, which is really impressive. Singular loss in the finals of Al Smith to William Vanderlit Guerin. Really good career. I know they're looking for a state title. Good kid. He'll be wrestling at George Mason. Of the champs, I would assume that any of those guys, that's probably not the ones you want it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Going down. You got number 18, Anthony Bustamante from Maryville, qualifier last year. He has Grant Ullman, number 9 in the semi-state. Austin Thomas Seeger, he will have number 11 in the semi-state. Colby Smith, Mishawaka. So a couple guys with some rankings, but the only state-ranked guy is Bustamante.
Yeah, I'm sure Bustamante and Ullman have wrestled a good amount this year too. Laporte was throwing me off. All black singlets for Laporte. No orange on them. Had me dude. I
throw some orange in there. The orange is great.
It had me messed up. Anthony Bustamante, kind of a surprise qualifier last year, really improved this year. Every time I've seen him, I thought like just the wrestler he was and the wrestler he is now is pretty impressive. So shout out to him for the work that he's put in. But yeah, like the only ranked guy in that quarter bracket.
So going down, bottom half bracket, Justin Hedinger from Harrison, West Lafayette. Going to put the pride of Logansport on his back, 38-2, number 22 in the semi-state. He'll have Ryan Shell of Winnemac.
Another Winnemac Logansport hate match, man. I'm telling you.
Yes. Yes. So they'll have the winner of Derek Bobb of Manchester, number 29 in the state, and Griffin Ablin from Crown Point, who wrestled well and definitely is one that you cannot overlook here with his stellar 21-13 record. Obviously, that is sarcasm because Crown Point wrestles a really good schedule.
Derek Bobb of Munster's a really good season. He's had some really good wins. That should be a good opening round matchup. I thought Crown Point got put in some pretty good spots. Obviously, their horses are going to be guys they're not as worried about the draw as much, and then the guys where maybe they were hoping for some draws, I think they landed some spots where they had some matches they could compete in. But that'll be a good one. And then Justin Hedinger, 38-2 senior, he's a returning regional champ, I believe. 21 in the state. I know he took a loss at North Montgomery. I'm not sure his other loss. He might have lost also to a Carroll kid. So that could be possibly a good tick around match.
Yeah. Going down, you got Aiden Witten, number 26 in the semi-state or state, and number 8, Tyson Kotner of Rensselaer Central. They will get the winner of number 7 in the semi-state, Charlie Schaefer, and Zach Kenny, number 9 in the state. So could have a really good match there.
Yeah, Kenny dropped the regional championship to Bustamante, a battle of a couple qualifiers. Kind of put him in a tough spot, obviously. Charlie Schaefer's tough. He's had an up and down season. I was really impressed with him last year. And there's times where I watch him and he looks phenomenal. And there's times he puts himself in some bad positions and kind of gets off to the side a little bit. Talking with Chris Kimbrell, and he said he was just kind of like, mentally helping him through some stuff and telling him like, hey man, like you're good. And sometimes that's all you need is some other people to tell you that you're good. Like it's easy if you hear it in your room all the time or you hear it from your parents, you assume that they're supposed to tell you that. His 14 losses is actually a surprising thing for me. I think that's going to be a really good matchup. I know he started the year in the rankings. He's taken some losses and fell out, but that Kenny Schaefer match should be pretty good. And then the winner of that Kotner and Witten match, all those guys top 10 in the semi-state. So that should be a really good matchup.
Yeah. So 164 5, Hayden Mansilla, Hobart. Only one loss on the year. That is to the
MJ
guy in the
Staples.
bottom half of the bracket. He'll have Enrique Silva of Warsaw, Ryder Woodkey of Rensselaer Central. Will number 8 in the semi-state. We'll have number 12 in the state, Grayson Strickland, Chesterton. So it could be a really good tick around match there.
Yeah, Grayson Strickland, another one of those Chesterton guys that's really came on.
Mm-hmm.
He looks really good against Ben Clark in the semis. Um, Obviously, you run into a buzzsaw back to back weeks. Like if you have a guy, here's some good advice, and you can take it or leave it. If you run into a guy that has 0 losses in his career over 2 seasons and a state title, he's probably pretty good.
Yeah.
Don't take those ones to heart. Just keep getting better. Um, so that could be a good match right off the bat with Woodkey. And then that Mansilla match, that'll be interesting. I'm sure they've hit each other. I believe Chesterton's at the Hobart Super Duel. I know they're both at Al Smith. Mansilla is wrestling incredibly well. But I thought Hobart had some pretty tough draws. I thought there were some spots where I was kind of like, man, and Hobart can say that maybe they're the tough draw, which can also be true.
Yeah.
But I think Mansilla is obviously the rankings favorite to get through there. But if you have 9 and 12, it's a little bit closer than you'd like it to be.
Yeah. Mansilla won 12-4, major decision. I'm assuming that would have been at the Super Duels. That does not look like it was semi or Al Smith based on quick glance. And Woodkey had wrestled. He also beat Woodkey too. So that's good to know that you beat 2 of those guys that are in your quarter bracket. So you got Brant Beck coming up in the next quarter bracket, 2-time state medalist. He's pretty good, having a good career. Caleb Moore of Munster, and then Ben Clark, returning state qualifier from Crown Point. Carter Haragus from Harrison. That's a tough quarter bracket for him. 2 guys with state experience.
Yeah, right off the bat, that Hurgis and Clark match will be good. I mean, Clark lost the semi to Strickland, and it fell in a tough spot. Honestly, like Brant Beck's been to semi-state 3 times. He's got out of the semi-state 3 times. He's a state semifinalist 2 years ago. So the winner of that, that's gonna be a tough one. Mm-hmm. His singular loss was a slam, I believe, at the Trikoff.
Yes, it was. So that was some people are claiming he should be on the undefeated list. I mean,
lost or losses.
Yep.
If you win the last one, that's all that matters, right?
Yep. And I don't think most of these people really care about having a 0 in their record at this time, because you guys still got to win the next 4. You got to win 8 more matches. That's what they're focusing on. So actually, they don't have to win 6, the 8, but they got to win the right 6. So speaking of undefeated and 0 in their loss column, Matthew MJ Staples, New Prairie, returning state champion. He has number 11, Jordy Martinez from Tri-County. Number 9 in the semi-state, Mason Litke of Griffith has Gage Peltz of Triton. Staples is pretty good. I know I'm stating the obvious. He's good.
He's pretty good. He looks like he's having fun while he's being good, mm-hmm. which is even better for him. Like, it doesn't look like it's a labor. It doesn't look like it's forced. He looks like he's having a good time, and that's how it should be. It looks like he's enjoying what he's doing. Tough draw for Jordy Martinez of Tri-County. Mason Licky, another township Black Oak kid. Shout out to them. Everyone from Calumet's leaving over to the Griffith border. Tough, man. Put on that black and gold.
The migrating from Black Oak to Griffith.
I know, man. Tough, man.
The great migration.
So, yeah. So that's a tough draw.
North, I assume, maybe.
What's up?
Which way is it to Griffith from there? Because
if you're from Black Oak, it's northwest.
Okay.
It's across Ridge Road.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I guess the Mansards are part of Griffith too, so I guess that's just west.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah.
Tough. Great migration.
The great migration out of Black Oak. They know where it's from though. So, Yeah, that's a tough matchup for Litke, but being a junior, you'll get another opportunity. But I mean, go out there and shock the world, right? But you have
Yep.
to get past Gage Peltz first.
Yep. So bottom quarter bracket,
Only
no
quarter bracket in the semi-state without a ranked wrestler,
state ranked,
state ranked.
but you do have two semi-state ranked guys battling out the first round. Tucker Herndon of Seeger, number 12, and he has number 10 in the semi-state. Charles Barnes of Michigan City. Hey, bus trained. I'm gonna pull for my guy the bus to be driving to Indy with a
Same.
wrestler.
Charles Barnes looked really good Saturday. Had a good first round win over uh, Lowell Kid. His name's missing me right now. It was a really
Duran.
good match. So Isaiah's got those guys rolling. That'll be a good one right off the bat. I mean, there's always gonna be some 4s and 1s, so that could possibly be a 4-1. Alex, man, I'm not even gonna try Skurzeski. I know he's dealt with some injuries this year. Tough junior. And then Bugarski is a guy that I know that Dante was in the chat. I know he early on was saying how much better Noah Bugarski was getting. So a lot of skis in that bracket, man.
Yeah, is that going to be a Russell off for Team Poland?
Dude, you think both those kids are Polish?
Isn't the ski name? Isn't that Polish?
It's something. It's something.
It's
I don't know.
something.
I'm not guessing. I would have never guessed Pendaski was a Polish name.
The ski is like the token Polish name. It's like
We have Vargo and we have Dante in there. Let us know if these guys are Polish.
and Beaver.
And man, and if not, I know my boy Nick Duke wants me to bring some pierogies. Like we just hand out pierogies all around the region all the time. We had a pierogi fest in Whiting, but that's so far north. That's basically Chicago.
That's basically Chicago. Yes, I had to explain to my son today that about when we were on the way to baseball about doing East Chicago. He's like,
Tony
Chicago's not in Indiana. I'm like, no, it's East Chicago. And
Dante said Noah is Polish power. Joe, Tony said, Tony dropping some knowledge right here. This is how you know the difference between Black Oak and Griffith. There's a limit of how many cars you can have in your front yard. No limit in Black Oak. You want to put cars in your front yard? We actually approve of that.
Yes,
we encourage that.
It is our minimum required.
Yes.
Nice. So in 175, this is another good weight class. Definitely one where we were anticipating a possible death draw. We kind of got a bad one, but we'll see how that works out. So number 26 in the state, Carter Ogborn of Rensselaer Central. He'll have Aiden Fleming of Griffith. Then Patrick Mokin, number 9 in the semi-state versus number 20 in the state, Kale Schatz, Rochester. Having a real good junior year. I think he wrestled like 215 or something last year, I think.
I think he was off last year, right? And then as a freshman, I thought he wrestled like 90, right?
Yeah. I know he wrestled. This is lower than he's wrestled previously. So
another right off the bat, another good one. Mochin and Schatz. That should be a tough one. Another Chesterton guy, double-digit losses. Only started listening about half the year, it sounds like. Aiden Fleming, brother of Jeffrey Fleming. He's the younger brother, bigger brother. It doesn't always happen like that, right? And then Carter Orborn having a really good year for Rensselaer senior. I thought like overall his results this year have been really tough. So 35-5 senior for Rensselaer. Possibly set up that like 26-20 match in the ticket round.
Yep. So number 22 in the state, Aiden Granger of Hobart, returning state qualifier. He'll have number 10 in the semi-state, Isaiah Frost. Aiden Norton, South Bend Riley, and this is one of the death draws. We kind of we knew that there's a 2 out of 3 chance that there were 2 guys with some state experience are going to hit, and Israel Sinnott from Hanover Central, another state qualifier from last year, senior. So 2 seniors potentially battling it out for a spot at state. Not how you want it, but should be a great match there. They did not wrestle.
Beaver said Schatz was 44 as a freshman and 90 as a sophomore. Cook said something. This is true of like a lot of the Chesterton lineup. He said the Mochens bump up 1 to 3 weight classes traditionally. Mochin has been up at 90. He's been down at 75. Strickland, I believe, was up at 90 last year. He's at 65. These guys got me all mixed up in these preseason rankings. I feel like they're doing it on purpose just to mess with me.
Oh yes. So yeah, good quarter bracket there.
Yeah, Sanat and Granger. That's a tough one. Aiden Norton's had some really good wins the last couple weeks, kind of flew under the radar. I know he had a win over Caden O'Neill, who was in the rankings. We'll talk about the bottom part of this bracket, but I just don't want to miss that. So shout out to Aiden Norton of South Bend Riley.
So next half bracket, you got Vinny Freeman or Vincent, as we because sometimes we use the government names. Senior, 2-time state medalist, 3-time qualifier. He has Timothy James of Lowell. Number 12 in the semi-state, Jonathan Brock, River Forest, unranked. The Ingots represent that semi-state. Then he has number 12 in the state, Jonathan Wagamuth of Lafayette Jeff. Tough draw for the Bronco to try and do wrestle Freeman. Freeman will try to tame him. I don't know how much they've ridden horses over there, but could be an interesting match there.
Yeah, Wagamuth had a win over Granger at the Harvest Classic. Sounds like hit him with the lat drop. Maybe him and did Freeman wrestle the Harvest? Maybe they wrestled there. That was his other loss. So just took a second loss. Timmy James, really good football player. I'm assuming Vinny Freeman probably got some pretty good football in him too. Timmy James, I don't believe he's a sophomore. I believe he's a junior. I could be wrong on that. I think
I think there's some grades that are off on these. I've noticed a couple others that I was looking through. So I'm just pulling this from USA Bracketing. So don't shoot the messenger.
Timmy wrestled maybe Van Tichel. Whoever he wrestled, Van Tichel or Sanat. I forgot who he wrestled in the maybe it was Sanat in the semifinals of the regional. Really tough. And honestly, it might have been the best I've had seen him wrestle this year. And then he dropped the one to Mochin in the 3rd and 4th place match. But I was just super athletic kid. Obviously, his older brother Ike was a pretty good wrestler also for the Lowell Red Devils.
And then another bottom half or bottom quarter bracket, 3-time qualifier.
He
is a sophomore, so that is right. Huh. So Mike's trying to add guys out of school earlier. Kevin English says, "No way, I'm keeping him."
Man.
so Griffin Van Tichel, 3-time state qualifier, looking for a medal this year. Definitely hoping he does. I'll have a tough Caden O'Neill first round from Mishawaka, kind of a surprise 4th place finisher. They'll have the winner of Noah O'Brien from Harrison West Lafayette and Daniel Warmick from Portage, who's number 11 in the semi-state. So real tough first round match. I would say it's off the scale, but by that time you're easily an hour and a half to 2 hours into the day, so you're not off the scale.
Yeah, and I don't think Griff's pulling as hard as he had been pulling in the past, which I think is better for his style of wrestling. I thought he looked really good on Saturday. He's looked really good the entire season. I know he has the 2 losses in overtime to Sean Breedlove. I believe his other 3 losses are out of state. He's looked good this year. I think when he's wrestling in an explosive style like he's wrestling right now, we got to see him at Team State where he looked really good in that duel when he wrestled Corbin Aiken, I believe, right?
Yeah, Corbin Aiken.
And ended up getting the fall there. For my money, the best 26 without a medal. And I think that in the 26 class, so people are, well, so-and-so doesn't have a medal. I'm saying in the class of 26 of seniors, like he's had some really tough Friday nights and some really close Friday nights that he's lost. Yeah. So
and some ones that he had wins over the guy. And
yeah, he's going to try to pull the Eric Keith and go down 3 times state qualifier and run it to a championship as a senior.
Not a bad thing.
Nope.
So going down 190, Caden Uran Lowell, junior, number 13 in the state. He has Aiden Handy of Seeger. They'll get the winner of Derek Wortley from Rochester, having a good sophomore season at 190, and Bryce Montgomery from Maryville. So some young guys in that quarter bracket, only one with a ranking. That's Uran, who's having a real good junior year.
Yeah, Wortley and Montgomery have be like a first round match. I think those guys are pretty tough. Montgomery wrestled much better as the season went on than he was coming out of football. Uh, I think this is probably closer to what Coach Baldwin and those guys were hoping that he would look like. Obviously, it's a tough draw. Caden Uran's wrestling better. He looks healthy, which is huge because I think that there were some injuries at the Smith. I believe he was injured, and I know he was trying to come back from some injuries and get his legs back under him. But incredibly talented, in a good spot. Obviously, he's the only one with a ranking there. Just got to go out there and take care of business. But I'm happy that it wasn't anything significant that he had to miss more time in the season.
Yeah. So next quarter bracket, the highest ranked wrestler is the 4 seed. So that doesn't have, but we got 3 guys with state rankings. Number 28 in the state, Quentin McLeod from Logansport, the Berries. Only 1 loss on the year. He has Ben Fedorchik from Valpo, Cook trained, number 15 in the state. Then a tough sophomore from Portage. I really like, I know we've talked about him a little bit. Really liked watching him at Al Smith, and you told me a little bit about some of his background and just a region style wrestler. You have a definition. There's that's a region style wrestler. That's not a wrestler you want to. He's not going to care that it's a ticket round. He's just going to go out there and battle, and basically fight everything but punching, kicking, everything. So that should be a good one. Number 24 in the state. He'll have Colton Reynolds from Triton, senior. So good, should be a real good quarter bracket there.
Yeah. Christopher T. Herrera. I think that he's gotten better every time I've seen him. I know he had a really good sectional. I believe he was a sectional champ over Tatum, then he ends up being third. At the regional, he lost to Montgomery in the semis. Like I said, I know Maryville's probably more happy where Bryce is wrestling now than he was then. But an incredibly tough out, and you're right. I don't think that he cares who he's wrestling. He's just going to go out there and bang. That top part, Quentin McLeod having a really good year. He had a good year last year also, 29-1. Fedorchak, one of the only 2 placers for Valpo at the Spartan Classic. Really tough 3rd and 4th place match. I know some people were talking about it online. I thought there was a call right at the end. I miscalled it on the call. Obviously, I'm 500 feet away or whatever. But just a really close takedown to right at the end. He ended up not getting it with Anderson, which sometimes that pays off like that because I think that he ended up in probably a better spot as the 4 than Anderson did as a 3 returning state qualifier. But I could be wrong. Maybe Quentin McLeod goes out and wins the semi-state, and I look dumb.
Yeah. So bottom half of the bracket, Alessio Retzloff, returning state qualifier from Penn. He has number 26 in the state, Wessel Wardak from Why do I keep wanting to say Manchester? Just thinking of Fort Wayne. I'm so ready to do the Fort Wayne semi-state. They'll have the winner of number 9 in the semi-state, Lucas Anderson, and number 30 in the state, one of the best names, Trammell Quadhammer.
Trammell Quadhammer.
Hammer.
Yeah, Hammer. I like Quadhammer. I think that's pretty cool. 39-3, ranked 30. Lucas Anderson's been in and out of the rankings, 29-8, incredibly tough senior. I believe he's the DAC champ also. I could be wrong. I'm sure he has some DAC fans in here that'll let us know. That'll be a good match right off the bat. Wessel Wardick's not one to sleep on either. Big move guy. He was in the finals of with Uran at the NCC. I know Coach Maldonado over at Munster, Tim Maldonado, and those guys have him going pretty well. So Retzloff and Wardick could be a good one, but Retzloff, obviously, number 11 in the state, returning state qualifier.
Yeah, he was kind of a surprise qualifier last year, kind of came on and then started to, really got a lot better this year. Obviously, probably not because of Maggart or Beaver, probably all Brad Harper trained. That'd be my guess. Just taking a stab at that one. So bottom quarter bracket, Alexander Tatum, Hobart qualifier in 2024. We'll have Noah Foray of South Bend Riley. They'll both get the winner of number 12 in the state semi-state, Paul Wagamuth of Lafayette Jeff, and Calvin Stewart, number 16 in the state from Crown Point. Tough. It's a tough quarter bracket, and definitely another a one where, um, obviously, like you said, Crown Point got some spots where it's not unwinnable. It's not. That's probably the worst draw that you could get, I think, but not a horrible draw by any means. It's
Yeah.
not like I mean, Tatum's tough and
Yes.
number one in semi-state, but it's not a unbeatable
Good,
opponent.
good athlete. Qualifier as a freshman. Was out of the state tournament last year, where Granger was up at 90 and qualified in that spot. Ben was the DAC champ. Thank you, Coles, Dante. Um, so then, 25 and 4 senior or junior, so he's in a good spot. And then Walgamoot's not afraid to go upper body, and I know Calvin Stewart's not afraid to go upper body. There's a couple spots I think for the majority of the year, Crown Point's done a really good job. 'Cause I thought Calvin Stewart put himself in some bad positions last year, just kind of rolling through some stuff. And I thought he got a little bit like that in the regional finals. He put himself in some spots where I don't think he needed to. With especially with the points, like I thought he was chasing, like he felt. It seemed like he felt like he was chasing more points than he was, and put himself in some positions where Uran was able to put him to his back. So,
Mhm.
um, incredibly, that'd be a good first round match. Exciting. That could be fireworks if you like throwing and upper body. Those guys might be able to go out there and put on a show.
So 215.
Fedorchek, the DAC champ, first round for McLeod. That's probably not DAC, one of the better conferences in the state, so that's not a great draw for them.
Yeah. So 215, Caesar Salas, pretty tough sophomore from Crown Point. He has Braden Rice of Bremen, freshman. Not, I mean, you're the four. You know it's gonna be tough. Good experience for him. You're gonna get to wrestle one of the best in the country, and see where you're at, and go back to work for it. So Anthony Askren, not related to the Askrens from the Wisconsin area, even though he does say that he has some relatives in like around like Noble County or something, I believe.
What if he is related to the Askrens? What if he's really good at cradles?
Maybe I would definitely watch Cradles if I was Preston Perez. Preston Perez Hobart having a real good senior year. Unfortunately, did not get the getting the spot where he wanted to. Definitely not a favorable draw for the number 13 guy in the state. So
yeah. Munster and Hobart in the same conference. I don't know if Perez and Cooey had hit each other a couple times, but good day to have a good day for Cooey, right? Like put yourself in a good spot, and obviously if you're Preston Perez, it's probably the one spot you didn't want to hit.
Yep. So going down, you got number 30 in the state, Tierson Wolford of Winnemac. He has Lucas Marshall of LaPorte, first round, number 10 in the semi-state. David Warren, number 8 in the semi-state, versus number 23 in the state, Martin Gazzo of West Lafayette. So pretty solid quarter bracket.
Gazzo returning semi-state qualifier. Was one of the only returning semi-state qualifiers at one of the upper weights. That'll be a good match with David Warren. I think David Warren's a battle-tested guy. He's had some really good wins. Had some tough losses, but the DAC was really, I thought, really good at 215. Like obviously, you have one of the top guys in the country at 215 in your area, so that makes it a little bit tougher. Tierson Wolford, Winnemac has done a good job having like really good 215s, 190s that are big and strong, and I don't know if Tierson Wolford is, but they're definitely pinners. So.
Yep.
And Lucas Marshall had a really good day Saturday too. Had a real good scrap with Desmond Howard in the third and fourth place match.
Not the Heisman Trophy winner.
It was the Heisman Trophy winner, actually.
It was
Heisman. No.
did he hit when he beat him? Did he hit the Heisman on him?
He did, man. I told Bus I can't be having him do that, man.
Dirty. So bottom half bracket, Andrew Coy of Munster. He said had a good day. Win the title there. He has Logan Hooks of Benton Central, number 12 in the semi-state, Mason Heisley of Rochester, and number 11 in the semi-state, Keegan Gibbons of Chesterton. So Coy, the highest ranked guy, but could be a real good quarter bracket.
Troy Hahn told me Andrew Coy is a big, strong 215. He said, holy smokes, that kid's big. Troy Hahn's a big man. So if he's telling you you're big, probably means you're pretty big. that'll be a first round match. Obviously, 11 and 12 would be a good matchup. Gibbons is taking a couple losses to Caesar, which you're going to run into some tough matches there.
Yeah. And then the bottom quarter bracket, number 9 in the semi-state, Robert McKinney, Lafayette Jeff, Cole Owens Corba of Heyman Central. Heyman Central represented, and then the aforementioned Desmond Howard, Michigan City, bus trained. Number 26 in the state. He'll have Landon Reynolds of Penn, number 15 in the state. So a good ranked matchup first round. Maybe we can get a Maggart and Bus match instead of those guys.
A little South Bend love out there, huh? Bring it back. Desmond Howard, tall, athletic, 215, like fires him off pretty well. 27-3 that's really good. Obviously, he was a DAC runner-up. He lost in the semis at the regional, and then in a really good match with Keegan Gibbons, an overtime match, late takedown to tie it, and then lost in overtime. And Landon Reynolds having a really good year, 22-9, so that should be a good one. And then the winner of that.
Oh, the Bus says he wants it. He's going after his old South Bend, I would say, rivals more than anything. Because I'm sure the Penn coaching staff was always trying to get one over on him. They always have good heavyweights up there.
And I was saying this on the broadcast on Saturday, like what a great heavyweight coach to have if you're a big guy, right?
Yeah,
he's in it, man, dude. I'm happy. He's doing a great job there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Continue to do that, and making them better wrestlers and also making them better people. So Williams, I think they're, from everything I have all my interactions, good family, good people to be around. So.
Amazing kid, man. Obviously, he's a grown man now, got a family. Like, we've been seeing these guys for so long. Obviously, we were doing Indiana Matt when he was in high school, and you see him with his baby and stuff. Like, dude, like, he's a grown up now.
We're getting real close to having a person that was ranked, and their kids are now in the rankings, and we're getting real close. I gotta see if I can. Check the middle school state results, see if we see any names that kind of pop out.
But man, I thought we were close with Max and Anthony, but they're brothers. I said, dang. I actually said that on the broadcast. I said, dang, Anthony was doing it like that in high school? That's crazy.
I mean, 15 years. I mean, things happen. So, 285 heavyweight. This is one that we knew all year long when we kind of saw who was going where, that we're going to possibly get a death draw. We got one. It is, I mean,
kind of too.
Yeah. So it's going to be tough. Cameron Hazlett, number 1 in the state, returning state champion. He'll have numbers not ranked. Ethan McIlrath from Delphi. Logan Fredrickson from Bremen, another Bremen wrestler. And Jake Ledke from Lake Central, number 9 in the semi-state. Hazlett's good.
Yeah.
And he's real good.
Shout out to his sister too, middle school state runner-up yesterday, to VZ's sister. So a little high-level families going at it. Yeah, he's really tough, man. Unfortunately, didn't get to see him in the championship match Saturday. But, fortunately, like, I got to leave a little bit earlier. Got to go hang out at home, get ready for, my weekend. Unfortunately, like, obviously, he's fun to watch. So
yeah. So next quarter bracket, Joseph Gutierrez from Harrison West Lafayette. He avoided the toughest draw possible. He got right where he wanted to be, probably.
Maybe
in the state. He has number 8 in the semi-state. Not an easy match. Lucas Nelson, Michigan City, bus trained. It says we aforementioned just said the heavyweight guys. Those heavyweights are gonna be good, and if they're not, that's their fault. Tough freshman. Speaking of heavyweight, I mean, Maryville might be one of those schools that perennially might have the most state qualifiers and placers and champs at heavyweight. Austin Vanderwood, only a freshman, definitely a name that you're going to have to keep an eye out for the next few years. He has a tough Damon Stearns of South Bend Riley. So good, solid quarter bracket. Definitely not the ones like we have below here.
Yeah, shout out to Austin Vanderwood. I think he's a little undersized at heavyweight from Maryville. His brother was the one they were talking about. Used to train with Sean all the time. You know, one of the best
Yeah.
training partners in the country, like Vanderwood, right? He's an official. Um, I know he helps out their kids club. So David Sturgeon is good though for South Bend Riley. That's a tough match. Big strong guy. I was super impressed with him when I seen him. I saw him at the Tricross starting off, and then I thought he had a pretty good run at Smith. Lucas Nelson, really good heavyweight. Is a big kid. Obviously, you're coming out of one of the probably tougher regionals for heavyweights in the state. Coming out as a 4. But if you're Lucas Nelson, of the guys you could have drawn, that's probably the one you would pick. He's the lowest ranked heavyweight you can grab. And Joseph Gutierrez. Gutierrez was there last year for Harrison. I know he started the year in the rankings, and then took some losses. But that quarter bracket I think is wide open. Or I mean, I don't know if it's even a quarter bracket. It's probably less than that. I keep saying quarter bracket.
Yeah, it's a quarter bracket.
Okay.
Yeah. So last half bracket, death draws all over here. Number 9, Josh Diaz from Hobart, having a real good senior year. He has a tough Jonathan Seafrus of Penn. As I said, Penn's another one that always has good big guys. James Hurdle Road took a loss in the semis last week, got turning third placer from 2024. He has Aiden Dunifin from Tri-County, number 12 in the semi-state. So you're going to have possibly a number 4 and number 9 in the ticket round. Tough draw for Diaz. Diaz lost to him at the Al Smith, I believe, in the quarterfinals.
Yep.
So, having your hands on him usually gives you advantage of, okay, now we know what he's good at, and we got to try to make an adjustment and see if we can figure something out. I'd much rather have my hands on, have that kind of data to try something when you have a tough match like that. And, it's a game, wrestling, make those adjustments.
Man, we look tired. Travis said we look tired. I thought this kid was smelling milk. Is it that
I've been on a few times, so
that's how I'd react if someone put milk in my face too, what Travis Horn just sent me. Adrian Darafin of Tri-County, he had his coach put in excellent this year, so put him on the watch list. I feel like if you're telling me he's excellent, we've kind of followed. So he's been on the watch list the whole year. Harder Road was really close to winning that match with Brooks. It was 1-0. I haven't watched enough of Harder Road matches to know if he's a good legger or not. If he's really good with the legs, he's not built like a guy I would think was really good with the legs, but I could be wrong.
They could be sneaky good at it.
Yeah, he could be sneaky good at it. He was not sneaky with it on Saturday. He ended up like getting high late, and Tony Brooks kind of shook him off. He got the reversal, and at that point, I think he was already to his back, and it was just one of those things. I don't know what the fault was ended up being, but it was pretty late.
Yeah.
So I think he had like one situation where he had the legs in, and it was close to getting a reversal, and I remember thinking like, that's odd. I wonder if they're going to tell him don't do that again. And then he went right back to it and ends up getting shook and reversed. So I could be completely wrong. He could be the reincarnation of Drew Hughes with the legs. And I just haven't seen it. But
heavyweight Drew Hughes.
Yeah, the heavyweight Drew Hughes. Harder Road and Diaz, if the bracket works out that way. Hobart to have Josh ready. I mean, that's a tough one, and I knew New Prairie have Harder Road ready. That's just not the draw you want, right?
Yeah.
And like the sucky parts of that is like there's a chance you might not even get to be the alternate because the guy up top's really good too.
Yeah. Yeah. So last quarter bracket, another tough one. Declan Guard returning semifinals, 4th place finisher last year. He has number 11 in the semi-state, Deshaun Jackson of Andrean. The Fighting 49ers.
Fighting 49ers.
Is it 49 or 59?
No, 59ers. You got me messed up. 59ers. It's 59 Broadway.
Nice. They'll have the winner of Ben Robinson from Rensselaer Central and number 6 in the state, Tony Brooks, Crown Point. Tough junior who's been waiting for his chance and taking full advantage of it. That's gonna be those two take around matches are gonna be great matches.
Man, Tony Brooks had to win some battles to even get in the lineup. He had to
Yeah.
beat a returning medalist that like was a senior. So that, I mean, that's tough right there. I mean, he's had to, like you said, you've had to wait at your turn. You had Paul Clark when you were a freshman, and then you had Lucas Zimborski move in, who obviously ran it to the state finals last year. He's defaulted to Hazlett the last two times they've matched up in the championship. But at the Osmond, that was a good match. That was a really good match. I believe that was the semifinal match. It was like a takedown match. Tony moves really well for a heavyweight. I thought Hartroad's a grown man. That's a grown ass man at heavyweight. So I thought that he would give him some trouble there, and obviously it was 0-0. Hartleroad like held position really well, and Tony couldn't get an angle. But he's a goer, man. He wrestles chippy too. Like he's a little bit edgy. We've seen it in the out of the IHSS WCA team state. So the clung guard holds position really well. Obviously ran that to the state semifinals last year. Don't sleep on Deshaun Jackson though. I think if you get caught overlooking him, he's another guy that wrestles a little bit edgy, likes some big moves, likes to go throw. 22-6. I know he has a couple losses to Diaz. He has a couple losses to Ludke. Um,
Only a
he's,
freshman.
he's wrestled with Team Elite a lot. So I believe McWilliams is helping out a little bit there. So I'm sure he's wrestled with Isaiah a little bit. And then like he was with Kevin forever. He was on all of Kevin's teams. So I wasn't really sure where he was going to be at. 'Cause I thought he was a Griffith kid. So I thought he was a freshman last year. Didn't see him. And then when we went and got the ring ceremony at Andrean, they were like, "Oh, we have two really good freshmen." One was Quade Murphy, which is Rhiann Murphy's brother.
Mm-hmm.
He was at 120. And then we have this kid, Deshaun Jackson. I was like, oh man, I didn't know that's where he was at. Was at Andrean. So that could be an interesting matchup. But like I said, you can't get caught sleeping and looking past anybody. And if you're looking to that second round because you possibly have a matchup that you're worried about, like that's when you get caught and then you don't get that matchup. So, and it happens every year. Like it's not just
100%.
um,
We'll be talking about that next week. And
yeah.
someone got caught looking. Jackson, like I said, he's only a freshman, so that's the scary part. Is the freshman's like, hey, I don't care. You're a senior.
Oh,
I'm gonna throw everything at you, and if I go down, I go down. I got 3 more years. This is your last hurrah, dude.
I don't even think it's like, hey, I'm a freshman. I'm gonna throw everything at you. I don't even care. It's the like, hey, that's just how he wrestles. Honestly, like I got to see him at the NCC, and it was just like, hey, he's going at you 100 miles an hour, and he's like shocked when he loses. Like he doesn't expect to lose. He's like pissed. Anthony Popey says he has Brooks beating Hazlett in the final.
Wait, horse?
Ooh, heavyweight horse.
Put him in your pick'ems.
Put
it in your pick'ems.
Yeah, don't just be in public for him saying it. Put it in paper. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked, honestly. Like it wouldn't shock me. I think obviously we're gonna talk about some other really good heavyweights coming up. The next couple weeks or the next couple shows with Catfish and Harrison Smith and just the depth at heavyweight. Cam finds a way, right? Like he's a guy that finds a way. I think he's underrated in a lot of positions. I think that people see him like, oh man, like he's really good, wrestling neutral or this. I think he surprises a lot of people how good he is on bottom, and he's really good on top. And it's not he doesn't do anything super fancy. He's not like, oh man, like you're gonna scout out. He's a cradler or whatever. Dude, he pins people with a lot of stuff. But I think I don't know if it's a strategy thing or if I know Brooks was a little bit banged up, but if I felt like if you're healthy enough to wrestle Fargo Greco champ, you probably healthy enough to wrestle the final there, right?
Yeah, and yeah, as you said, Harlow Road, he's pretty darn close to the 285 limit. I don't know exactly what he weighs in. I know he's one of the bigger heavyweights.
Yeah.
Hazlett is like 230-ish, so much, and obviously Brooks is smaller. I think he's about 230-ish.
I he might be
Someone more your size
he
and
might be
Brooks.
south of that. He might
Yeah,
be lower than 230.
yeah. So both, I would much rather wrestle a guy small, my own size. I mean, because obviously you can wrestle some ginormous. Heck, as you said, Herbert Rhodes putting legs in on him. That's
Yeah.
not good on you. I don't care what. I don't know what if there's an injury. I don't care what injury it is. A heavyweight putting legs on you doesn't help any injury.
Yeah. And that's how it goes. Like it'll be interesting to see, and I'm sure Coach Guard will have his kid ready, like Kellen. I'm sure he'll be ready to go too. Like I'm sure they're watching film and they're aware of where those guys are at and how they wrestle, and it's tough, man. We knew heavyweight was going to be one of those tough weights, right?
Yeah,
Where that Crown Point regional was incredibly tough, and we knew that there's some depth at the other regionals, and um, it was just kind of pick your poison. But I mean, guard's big too, right?
yeah.
He knows position well. And he might be more comfortable wrestling a guy like Tony Brooks, who's a lot smaller, and he can kind of hold that position.
Yeah.
Where if you're Diaz, you might have wanted to flip those. Like he might have wanted Brooks, who's moves a little bit better, and he can kind of because I think Diaz is pretty strong too.
Yeah. So it should be interesting. I mean, obviously we knew that heavyweight was gonna. There was a big potential of those, and obviously Diaz.
Oh, happy birthday, Pat Day!
Yes,
It's Clint's son, yeah.
Clint's
Today's Pat Day's birthday, so I know it's a national holiday in Mishawaka.
Pat Day.
Pat Day, we didn't even get to celebrate. Tossing around some headlocks,
Yes.
watching some.
Chest
Watching,
bumps in the when you meet him.
yeah. So happy birthday, man! Shout out to the Pat Day state champ.
we would sing, but we don't want to be dinged on YouTube.
Yep.
We did get dinged one time. It's when Nick, I think it was Nick. Was it Nick and you guys did like Mooresville?
Yeah.
Finals the one time, and they started a little bit right before the finals, and they played the national anthem, and he had to I had to. It wasn't like a strike or anything, but it's like you need to know this is a copyrighted song, and it was the Star Spangled Banner. I didn't realize it was copyrighted.
Who owns the country, Joe? Come on.
The people own this country.
I know. I paid my taxes. I want to play the Star Spangled Banner.
Yes, I want to play the Star Spangled Banner on my YouTube. So, one down, 3 to go. Got Newcastle tomorrow night. I got Howie coming on, as far as I know. I'll double check with him tomorrow. Remind him that he committed to it. So hopefully he remembers that he was. Either way, we'll go over it. But should be some great matches there. So yeah, great matches there. We had to start with the easiest semi-state to make it.
I know the lowest rated, man.
Yeah, ranting because I can share the text.
I felt like it, a couple of things. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, and I know I could trash talk with the best of them, and maybe I come off more of a trash talker. I don't feel like I trash talk you guys like that. For you guys to be coming at me all extra hot all the time. Last year at state with Caleb talking all that trash, and I don't feel like I go at you guys like that. I mean, it'd been really easy for me to be like, dang, man, I bet the state rankings would have been a lot tighter if they would have got their regular rankings right. I mean, I didn't do that though. So I was confused why everyone was going so hot at me. I'm aware. I'm looking at all the forfeits.
Yeah.
I'm more than aware when I'm looking at some of these sectionals and I'm trying to fill them out and be like, this is pretty rough. So I don't know why I was catching strays for.
The people in Fort Wayne are just celebrating that. According to someone, we are not the worst. We're not. It's not against you. It's just celebration that we.
That's not what was happening today. you can feel however you feel. That's not what was going down. But I still feel like, and I stand by my statement I said in there. I'll take the Crown Point Regional over any regional in the state, and you could put that Crown Point Regional in any national regional either, and they're going to be fine. We talked about it when you can hashtag the county all you want, but national level guys at the Super 32, I believe Crown Point was well represented.
Yes, very much
and,
so.
and I'm sure they're gonna like.
Even like, I mean, yeah,
But we do so good. It's like, okay, cool. Like, let me know when the last time you guys had an All American was.
yeah.
Like, I mean, college All American. Like, I know
Mhm.
there's a lot of guys that were there Saturday or Monday that were pretty good college wrestlers. So once we start getting to those numbers, then we can have that talk.
Yeah.
So what other area in the state has that amount of All Americans, college All Americans?
You know, no, not even close as far as just everybody. And they're still
Thursday
doing
we're
it.
doing
And it's not just the influx of a couple kids. So,
Thursday
um,
we're doing the Evansville semi-state. We're gonna say that one.
yeah. Um, Jeffrey Brown, I believe you should be able to, if you should get a message with that pickums, and you can edit it. I know the Newcastle one had some errors in it, so I will fix that probably in the morning. I'm not going to do that tonight. So you can edit that. If not, just submit it again, and you'll be fine. I'll delete the one without anything. So yeah.
Fort Wayne Snyder has 3 or 4 college All Americans, Division One All Americans.
Um, Wagner was one. I don't.
Because man, if we're even trickling down to like Division Three, and we're trickling down to JUCO and D2, the region's even deeper there.
Yeah, I do not know if. Let's see. Greg Wagner. Tony Vaughn was third in '94. Way long time ago. They've had a couple. Some D3 guys. Tom Bennett 3 times. Good dude there. Yeah, so they've had quite a few All Americans total, but yeah, they've had 2 different ones 4 times.
Chris Trykov was an NCAA champ for Calumet in like 1930, back before the war.
Yeah, so you got, I mean, just going over the recent ones: Crown Point, Shenandoah, Portage, Crown Point, Chesterton, Crown Point, Lawrenceburg, Chesterton, Mater Dei, Lawrenceburg, Chesterton, Mater Dei, Penn, Lawrenceburg, Brownsburg, New Pal, Hanover Central, Mater Dei, New Pal, Hanover Central. You know, it's yeah.
And we just missed 3 of the Ohio State ones.
Yeah. Yeah. Do I not have those on there? Yeah, I have Crown Point. Yeah, that was a
I
couple
didn't
of
Crown Point of the first ones.
yeah. So, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, I always love those numbers because they do rile some people up, and we did early on when this was when the hangouts, we called it the hangouts, we did have Maligned on. Maybe we need to have him on again right after the season to explain it, but it's I'll say it is not a perfect system. It does a pretty darn good job though. So and unfortunately we have to try to determine these teams. We can't vote. We can't have a vote in that time of the year to have 12 teams in.
I was just like, I mean, dude, that's a system we have. Like, doesn't bother me, but like, I was like, why am I getting trolled? Like, I'm over here I'm trying to, like, do these opacity meetings, and I'm like, dude, why am I catching strays right now? I didn't do anything.
Yeah, so don't worry. The J County Regional will be. They are already doxing Maligned and trying to find him. And
I feel the opposite. I feel like if we don't like it as a semi-state, then step it up, man. Like, if you don't like it as a semi-state, stop throwing so many forfeits out there. Stop taking weekends off. Stop raising people's hand.
Yeah,
wrestle your matches.
Report your results. I think some of it's result reporting. I did.
Well, we're never going to do that because we're trying to trick people.
I did find one team that was pretty highly ranked, and I'll double check to release this of some strength of schedule that I was really curious about.
We have some coaches that think they're tiptoeing into East Chicago with guys with and they wouldn't put their records on the bracket if they couldn't have to.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They're like, shh, don't say nothing. Yeah. Don't. My guy's pretty good. Shh. Like, oh, okay, cool. Like,
yeah. No, I saw some teams with strength of schedule that were one that was pretty high, the highest one in Fort Wayne, and I was like, there's another team that is in their same conference that I'm like, they have a little bit better schedule than them. He's like, how is this one so much higher? And then I saw that they didn't have a lot of their results in, so that their strength of schedule, the results they did have were good results because all the good teams reported the results against them.
Yeah.
So they got a little bump there, but interesting.
Yeah.
Just a lot of good data and
Like
interesting to see.
it ain't Maline's fault that like the semi-state's down. He doesn't live out here. He doesn't coach out here.
Yeah.
Like I think there's some teams that are doing the right things and trying to rebuild that, and there's like some teams that aren't. So stop taking February to October off.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that easy, right? The
Yeah.
coaches that are successful, the coaches that are out there grinding, the same coaches that are at the best teams are the coaches that are always there. If you're taking your summers off and you want to go fishing and do whatever, then then expect to be a low semi-state.
Yeah. Prairie Heights has the highest strength of schedule in the Fort Wayne semi-state.
Shout out Brett Smith.
He's not even coaching there anymore.
Shout out Brett Smith, anyways.
Yeah, so I'm gonna double check to make sure we can release that. But yeah, it's good stuff. It's just it's interesting seeing all that stuff. Trying to link all the teams together. It's basically a your team, your results, and then your opponent's results and their results versus their results, and it's kind of a really big algorithm of numbers and stuff that's hard to do.
Yeah, like that dude's doing the best he can do, man. I'm Nick. I had you guys pegged as the number one, man.
Yes, because I did not expect the top teams there to be there, but I think a lot of it is kind of who they. I mean, I put in a bunch of Prairie Heights results today, so and I'm sure if we had those 10 results in their strength of schedule would drop tremendously. So they didn't have all their NACC duels. I'll say that much.
It's not no, I did it. We're gonna do a fishing podcast right after this, man. We're time for fishing and wrestling, man. Matt Henry had a successful career. I'm sure he was doing some fishing in there. I would be willing to bet, just to preview the Evansville show. My boy Royce Malone probably out there doing some fishing, getting dubs at the regional.
Yes.
I would be shocked if I found out he's a hunt only guy.
Nah, he's outdoors. He is doing something. He is wearing camo most of the time when he's outside. The Trojan red.
Yeah, if I found out that he was the squirrel hunting champion of Indiana and the rabbit hunting champion of the world and did no fishing whatsoever, I'd be floored.
Yeah, he's probably been to Bass Lake before. I can say that much.
I know for a fact because I've seen the pictures. Parker Reynolds, defending state champ, also probably one of the best fishermen. I watched that dude reeling. His dad sent me a video of him reeling at a shark from the shore in waters that I swam in before. And you got to put sharks in sideways so they can't get you. Like, I didn't even know. Him and Josh were just pulling a shark right on the shore.
That's why he's a state champ, wrestling sharks.
Dude, for real.
In the off season. I mean, hey, you got to put the time in the room and on the beach. If you're on the beach, you got to find something to wrestle.
Yeah, that dude's reeling in like actual sharks, like not like, oh, that's a little bit. That could be, maybe that's a shark. No, like literally, it was like probably like, I don't know if it was 5, maybe at least 4-foot shark. It was big. Yeah. It wasn't Jaws, but man, it was maybe Jaws' nephew.
Nice. So, well, we're at strike of midnight, so we have 3 more of these coming on. So we will be back tomorrow. Next week. Tomorrow. 222. Racking up those numbers, getting closer to the 260 episode.
We're getting all those South Bend guys or Fort Wayne Snyder guys on.
Yeah, we'll get a Greg Wagner on there, maybe. I'm sure I can contact him, find his information, and man, I gotta look for some good 260 guys now. I start, I'll get a Riley Lefevre. Lefevre will hop on. So, 4-time NCAA champ from D3. But yeah, anyway, we're gonna get off here. We will see you guys tomorrow night for Newcastle.